Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. It's time for a science lesson, CFL style. The key to victory, as anyone will tell you, is chemistry. When you got it, hey, you got it. When you don't, well, you know the rest. Today, phase 2 in a home-and-home experiment to create a winning team for the playoffs. Last week, something went horribly wrong. Garcia and the Stamps looked merely human. But the Sponge and the boys know the winning formula. Yes, defeat is maddening. Just ask the Riders, but now things are looking good. Narcisse is the catalyst who can make or break the game. Success last week was elemental. Great defense, a solution every time. And so now you're ready, but please pay attention. There could be a quiz at any time. The regular season championship's been well in hand for some time in Calgary. Now the Stamps would like to tune up for the playoffs, but they're not going to find it easy against the Green Riders, who need a win to get to the postseason. Nice to see my brothers picked up their tickets. Welcome now to Calgary. I'm Scott Oak. Let me give you the storyline of this game in 4 simple words. Flutie back, Ridgway out. Actually, those are 2 different stories, and they're unrelated, but they're intriguing, both of them. Let's begin with Ridgway. Robo-kicker has been left at home in Saskatchewan. His place in this game taken by Paul McCallum. Ridgway is convinced he's played his final game for the Green Riders. If he has, the mantle has not been passed smoothly. And months ahead of schedule in his recovery from elbow surgery, Doug Flutie returns to the Stamps today, although only to hold on kicks. But would any of us be surprised if he threw the ball in this game? I think not. Dan Kepley and Chris Cuthbert can't wait to get their voices into the myriad of plots in this one. Kep, I think the Green Riders have got a chance to make it 2 in a row against the Stampeders, but they must rise above this Ridgway controversy.
Well, they really do, Scott, and I think you mentioned it in the opening. Chemistry is the key thing, and the chemist to this thing is Bobby Jurison, the emotional leader of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. 2 sacks last week against the Calgary Stampeders. He felt that Calgary did not respect him and challenged him, and he rose to that challenge. And Chris, speaking of challenges, the quarterback for the Calgary Stampeders, Jeff Garcia, has one.
Yeah, Jurison and company did a job on Garcia last week, handing him his first pro loss. How will he respond today, and will the effect of Doug Flutie returning to the sidelines be a positive one, or just add a little more pressure to the rookie quarterback?
Chris, it's about the only game I can think of in which a starting quarterback with an 8-1 record is overshadowed by the snap holder, but that's the kind of shadow that Doug Flutie casts. He'll be the most expensive holder in the game of football. And the BF Goodrich TA halftime today, exercising the demons in this room. The Stamps retreated to it in each of the last 2 seasons, licking their wounds, and we'll hook up with Dave Ridgway in Regina. He's getting as much publicity for not playing as he gets when he's in uniform, but I guess we're helping out that cause, aren't we? It's clear, crisp, and dry in Calgary, and this is football weather. A fine day it is to celebrate the Stampeders' birth 50 years ago to the day. Many of the Stamps greats are singled out on the walls of the stadium, and 29 of them, the ones who comprise the Stampeders' all-time dream team, are here in person to be honored at halftime today. What will have unfolded by then? So let's get started, shall we? Chris?
Well, Ray Yock still looking for at least one more win to nail down the playoff spot. What an emotional victory last week for the Saskatchewan Roughriders in front of 55,000 plus. And Yock in that swirl of controversy with the decision to leave Dave Ridgway at home. Wally Buono said his team was challenged last week. He's interested to see how they'll react to the challenge in the rematch this afternoon.
Well, he did make the comment that his goal every game and every week was to get better. He said last week we did not get better. It is a challenge to them personally to get better this week.
Paul McCallum, the newcomer, kicks it off, and Marvin Coleman has a tough time fielding it back at the 10-yard line. Joey Yock in pursuit, and Yock pulls him down from behind. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders starting with that same emotional boost they displayed a week ago. Well, here is Jeff Garcia coming off his first pro loss, starting at quarterback for the Calgary Stampeders. They were held to just 268 yards net offense last week, and Garcia really summed it up by saying the Saskatchewan Roughriders kicked our butts.
They challenged them a lot. The Saskatchewan Roughriders rose to the occasion. Jeff Garcia feels it's crucial on 2 key things. 1, get good first down production, and 2, be able to rush the ball against Saskatchewan.
First play from scrimmage, they fake to Stewart, and on a roll, Garcia finds Harry Vaughn. And Vaughn's up across the 45. face mask will be assessed against Saskatchewan as well. Terry Vaughn, the great rookie, making his 66th catch of the year, and he is in reach of a 1,000-yard season. Give him 31 there, so he's over 900 yards now for the year.
Excellent play to open it up with. Garcia wants to do.
Face mask. Saskatchewan 17. 15 yards, first down.
Dave Van Bellingham, the safety call.
As I said, he wants to do something as far as the naked bootleg, make something happen big, spread this Saskatchewan defense out across the field, and open up by finding a big reception made by Terry Vaughn. You can see the hand just on the face mask of Terry Vaughn, and it was called.
So with the 15-yard penalty, it's first down, Calgary at the Saskatchewan 46. Give Stewart left side. Big hole, and Tony Stewart rumbles down to the 31-yard line. That's a pickup of 15. There is a flag down, and this one, according to Glenn Kulka, anyway, is coming back. So 2 plays and 2 penalties last week, Calgary.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, 69 Calgary. After the play, 15 yards, first down.
After the play, Bobby Vandelitas called for that unnecessary roughness. Now, this is something that we may see a lot out through the course of this game, Chris. I think last week, the offensive line of the Calgary Stampeders were challenged more than they had ever been. And maybe, really, they were embarrassed somewhat at the play that they made, and more so how well Saskatchewan's front did against them.
So it's first and 10. Penalty coming after the first down run by Stewart, and that pass knocked down by the blitzing Gary Rogers.
Knocked down by the Irish number 41, Gary Rogers.
As we check the Calgary Stampeders starting offense, and kept the real focus today will be along that line, as you mentioned. The Calgary coaching staff not happy with the effort last week by a normally very reliable offensive line centered by Jamie Crysdale. Even the receivers came under criticism. As Wally Bono said, his offense did not compete last week at Taylor Field. Second and 10. Garcia, better protection over the middle, incomplete. He was looking for Pee Wee Smith.
Garcia's pass intended for Pee Wee Smith, number 86.
But it's third down for Calgary. Calgary wearing those special black jerseys for the second time. They wore them on Labor Day a year ago. And this to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Calgary Stampeder Football Club.
Mark McLaughlin in to try a field goal. 41 of 49 so far this year. 83%. Been absolutely excellent as a kicker for the Calgary Stampeders.
Well, this would be his longest of the year. An attempt from 53 yards out with Doug Flutie, the holder.
53-yard field goal.
And McLaughlin missed to the right, and Aaron Ruffin will carry it out. And Aaron Ruffin with a big return. And he's up to the 30-yard line. Mark McLaughlin forced to make the tackle. Number 6, Warren Jones, has been the starting quarterback for the Saskatchewan Roughriders in all 6 of their victories this year. Really maturing in his first real opportunity to be the starting quarterback on a CFL team. And last week, he was splendid, 30 of 43, 281 yards against a very tough Calgary defense.
Coach Yock paid him a great compliment, saying that he is a talent, he is intelligent, and the one thing that he possesses is his escapability is a big asset at being the starting quarterback. He says he wants to be the man.
And Jones under pressure early, and he'll go down. Anthony McClanahan, Marvin Pope putting the heat on Warren Jones.
Number 91, Marvin Pope gets the quarterback sack.
What Calgary felt they could do if they played good pass defense behind it and forced Warren Jones to just to have the ball, hold it just a little longer. Then this front seven has a great opportunity with speed of that man, McClanahan, to make something happen, and they do it early.
Loss of 7, Pope's 11th sack of the year. Jones reversing his field and now unloading downfield. Elgard, the closest Rough Rider to the ball. He was surrounded, though, by 4 Calgary Stampeders. And a good opening defensive series for the Stamps.
Number 38, Gerald Brown on the cover for Calgary.
Ray Elgard, another one of those emotional leaders of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, a guy that doesn't say a heck of a lot. He just goes out there and gives you 100% every time the ball is snapped, and he leads by example.
The ever-dangerous Marvin Coleman has dropped deep to accept the punt from Brent Matich. Coleman with a 10.9-yard punt return average on the season, and Calgary should get the ball in great field position. The left-footer Matich. It's Pee Wee Smith who will take it across midfield, and Pee Wee dancing down to the 35-yard line. Gene Makowski brought Pee Wee Smith to the turf, but the Stampeders' second possession.
There is a flag down.
Now wait a minute, there is a flag down, and it looks like the Smith return is going to be negated by a penalty.
I think we're going to see an illegal block on this, Chris.
Holding, Saskatchewan 26 on the run back. Penalty declined, first down.
Calgary huddle had gone back to where they thought the ball was going to be scrimmaged on their side of midfield, but they get the good news that the call was against Dave Pitcher of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So look at the field position Jeff Garcia is going to enjoy, as the ball's been spotted at the 35 of Saskatchewan. Just 3.5 minutes into this one, and we're scoreless.
The special teams play is such an integral part in this game, and it helps every time that a guy like Coleman and Pee Wee can get his hands on the ball and give great field position to his starting quarterback.
Give to Tony Stewart. They're trying to establish something on the ground early, but Glenn Kalka would have none of it.
And he's greeted immediately
31-year-old
by
veteran.
Kalka, number 68 for the Riders.
And we'll set Saskatchewan's defense to 3-4 alignment. Troy Alexander, the rookie, Edmonton native, has done a nice job this year, along with Kalka and Robinson. Bobby Jurison, what a great career, 10 years in the league, and a fine set of linebackers. And a bunch of ball hawks in the secondary for Saskatchewan. Dale Joseph's had a good year with 4 interceptions. Dave Van Bellingham has had 7. Second down, and Garcia's going to pull it down and run for the first down. Oh, he took a hit from Aaron Ruffin, but we have seen in recent weeks that Garcia is resilient and he can run the football.
The ability to throw, the option to throw it, if it's not there, this guy can tuck it and get it upfield and pick up a first down. And he runs with some authority. It looks like he's been looking at some of those old Matt Dunnigan films. He runs straight up and tries to run over people and jumps up quickly and sets his huddle.
16-yard gain for Garcia. The Calgary quarterbacks have 641 yards rushing this season. That's Flutie and Garcia combined, and here's Tony Stewart up the middle down to the 10.
Tony Stewart, number 21, cracks it to the
Behind that offensive line that has been challenged by the coaching staff today.
Calgary with only 35 yards rushing last week against this Saskatchewan defense felt it was imperative to come in this game and establish the rush. With this man here, not so much fancy counter stuff. This is a straight line runner. Give it to him and let him take the ball on the dive or the lead and make something happen.
2nd and 2, Stewart again down to the 5, and that will be a Calgary first down. Stampeders on the year are 8th in the league in rushing with just under 100 yards per game. But Saskatchewan vulnerable in that category. They are 10th against the run. Saskatchewan's strength on defense is its passing defense, ranked number 3 in the CFL.
First and goal to go, Stampeders.
But the Stamps now 1st and goal. They've moved it to the Saskatchewan 5 midway through the first quarter. Garcia on the option toss. Tony Stewart to the 2 and drove back. Getz was there, leading the Saskatchewan tacklers.
Ron Getz, number 47, Bobby Jurison, 71, combining for the tackle.
John Huffnagel signaling in the plays to Garcia. Ball spotted at the 2, 2nd and goal.
3 yards for Stewart, 2nd and goal to go.
Here's Jim Daly, the defensive coordinator of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and he is a very respected coordinator in this league. And John Huffnagel, the offensive coordinator of Calgary, knew that he would come up with something new today.
2nd down, and they throw it at the goal line, and a good defensive play by Dale Joseph to knock the ball away. And the intended receiver was Vince Danielson, so it's 3rd and 2. And Garcia's coming off. Mark McLaughlin in the field goal unit coming on.
Good quick set, 3-step drop, a little bit of a pick play with Sapunjas trying to cause some havoc, but Dale Joseph does a good job of fighting through the pick and the receiver to get his hands on that ball and knock it down.
Well, Calgary had the ball in the 35, so this has to be a big victory for the Saskatchewan defense.
Don't be surprised if something sneaky doesn't happen early.
Well, Flutie does put it down, and McLaughlin put it through, but with Doug holding, you never know. We do know that Calgary has opened the lead midway through the first quarter. Well, Saskatchewan fans, it's not 55,000 and it's not Taylor Field, but a crowd of over 30,000 on a great day for football at McMahon Stadium. Yes, there are plenty of green and white fans here as well. Fans of all description.
It's great to see 2 weekends in a row, great crowds like this, and the enthusiasm of these fans.
Warren Jones ditches it off, and this is Boyko. And Boyko finds his way to midfield to drop the ball. And Calgary gets it back on defense. Greg Prayers and Dan Payne. There's a mismatch size-wise. Jackie Kellogg comes up with the loose football. Ray Yock's team has been vastly improved in that giveaway takeaway. They were minus 14 at one point this year. They were plus 3 coming into the game, but they give one up here to the Calgary defense.
One way to slow down a big, tough rush is to dump the screen off, and they do to Boyko, but he's just unable to hold on to the ball. Kellogg comes up with it. Jackie Kellogg, a real find in the secondary for the Calgary defense, and has won a starting job.
Jurison and the defense dig in. First down, Calgary at their own 53. Good protection so far, and a completion to Vince Danielson at the Saskatchewan 50, and Aaron Ruffin's been around the football so far today.
Number 24, Vincent Donaldson, and number 21,
Boy, Danielson's had a great year, approaching 50 catches on the season, and that really is a backup behind the 2 super slots, Pitts and Sapunjas.
And with any other ball club, Chris, he could be a starter. He just happens to be in line behind some great receivers, but he has been very patient, waiting for his chance to show what he can do. And every quarterback, whether it's Garcia or Flutie, has great confidence in getting him the ball.
2nd and 3 for the Stamps. It's Stewart looking for the hole and gets it. Ron gets the tackle. He leads Saskatchewan in that department, but Tony Stewart will move the yardsticks.
Out of it. Ron Getz, number 47 on the tackle.
Pickup of 7.
First down, Stampeders.
Take a look at what they're doing. It's going to be a direct snap where Jeff Garcia actually fakes he's in the shotgun, but Tony Stewart is able to pick up that snap and drive that ball straight ahead and pick up the first down. Little trickery early by the Calgary Stampeders.
And Stewart with it again. Tony Stewart broke the first tackle and dropped at the 37, 5 more, and Stewart with 43 yards rushing already in this first quarter. Glenn Kulka with the tackle.
Number 68.
Chris, the Calgary Stampeders have only had 2 players rush for over 100 yards during the course of the 95 season. Tony Stewart did it back in Winnipeg on September 26, 16 carries for 109 yards. The other carrier was Jeff Garcia, who carried 13 times for 115 versus Toronto.
Garcia on 2nd and 5. In trouble, got it away, and has the completion. No catch. And Dave Sapunjas is going to argue the case. And again, Aaron Ruffin in coverage, but Glenn Kulka's mad because he should have had the sack. Well, Garcia showed you his elusive nature there.
Sprint out a bit, but also Garcia's what he's going to show you some of the strength and his real keen of sense to be able to keep his eyes focused downfield. The receivers are working like crazy to get open. Dave Sapunjas looked from this angle that he made that catch, covered it up, but the official made the call differently.
Yeah, a guy who's made 104 on the year can make the difficult catch. That time the call doesn't go Sapunjas' way. And McLaughlin in to try a 44-yard field goal. Plenty of leg. And McLaughlin is good. 4:55 to go, first quarter. 6-0, Calgary.
Canadian Tire has guaranteed low prices every day on MotoMaster batteries, so you can get one whenever you need one, and you won't get left out in the cold.
So the first quarter has been dominated by the Stampeders, but just 2 field goals to show for it so far, Kep.
Well, this has been a real key to this Saskatchewan team. Their defense has played very steadily through the course of the 95 season, particularly last week against this Calgary Stampeder team. Did an excellent job, pressured Garcia as many times as we've seen him pressured through the course of the 95 seasons, got in his face. Take a good look. Jim Daly taking a talk and having a talk with Ron Gentz, the middle linebacker. Also Dale Josephs on the side. These guys play physical, tough, aggressive defense. The 2 tackles in between, when you have Alexander and also Kulka now doing a good job of getting a good push up the middle, creating some respect, and that allows Bobby Durson on the outside to usually get a one-on-one block, and he made a lot of things happen. 2 sacks last week.
Albert Turner and Aaron Ruffin are deep, and it's Ruffin at his 19. It's by the first man, finds a seam, and Aaron Ruffin with a great return up to midfield, but well behind the return, there are a couple of flags. And I'm not sure those clips came after Ruffin was by the blockers anyway.
6 yards on the kickoff.
But it is holding, and this one's coming back. Boy, Ruffin's an exciting
Holding.
player.
Saskatchewan 83. 10 yards, first down.
Willie Hinchcliffe, backup receiver. Ray Yock's team won the battle in the trenches last week, and Dan Payne, Hendrickson, Anderson, Mikowski, and Shorts will try to duplicate that feat again today. Rick Walters replaces Darren Joseph at running back today. Joseph with a broken finger is out, and we'll be watching Donald Narcisse, who has had an outstanding year and leads the CFL in receptions. But this is the other wideout, Albert Turner, up to the 35, gain of 5, but penalty markers down.
Gains 5.
This is a pattern that Don Narcisse caught a lot of last week against this same Calgary defense. Wally Bono paid him quite a compliment and said, this guy is a tough receiver. He will catch the ball in traffic, and he can make something happen after the catch.
Saskatchewan 15. 15-yard penalty. First down repeated.
Tough first quarter for Bruce Boyko. A fumble and now the clipping call. Will Johnson is the big man on that defensive line. He and Marvin Pope now with 11 sacks on the year. Alondra Johnson's had another all-star season, the leading tackler on the Stampeders. Jackie Kellogg, the newcomer to the secondary, has a fumble recovery already in this football game. There's Big Daddy. First and 25, and Warren Jones directing traffic, and they take too long. Albert Turner was the only man in the backfield, and Warren's got to settle things down here.
Saskatchewan number 6, 5 yards, still first down.
Hey, kept last week, it was Calgary having trouble with the noise, and the McMahon Stadium fans giving Ray Yock's offense a taste of its own medicine.
Well, a little bit of payback. It all takes place in the CFL. But Chris, when you take a look down here and see what the Saskatchewan offense is trying to do, it looks like a copy picture of what the Calgary Stampeders does on offense.
Warren Jones steps up and fires, and Ray Yock has it. Ray Elgart, 39-yard line. Elgart has the first down. That's Well, let's see. He's going to be close. He's within a yard of the first down.
Game before Jackie Kellogg, number 3, tripped him up.
Well, the old pro, Elgard, 36 years of age, with his 50th catch, and that's the 10th straight year that Elgard has had at least 50 catches in a season.
It'll give CBC something to talk about here in Calgary.
It's amazing how quickly Ray Yacht got out of that uniform and got back in that coaching gear on the sideline, but that just shows you some of his quickness.
Oh, I deserve that. Rick Walters on 2nd and 1, broke a tackle, broke another, and gets outside. And there'll be an extra flag, too, as Coleman and Walters were jostling, and somebody got the other's face mask. Well, that was a question. Could Saskatchewan get a running game going without Darren Joseph? McClanahan is heated up.
Darren Joseph,
And the
he did
face mask is
against Rick Walters on that tackle being made, but it would be after the first down was made, so from the spot it'll take it back. Greg Knox just gets run
Major foul.
right over.
Face mask. Saskatchewan, after the first down was made, 15 yards, first down.
So the first down stands, but they'll mark it back at the 35.
Darren Joseph shattering a finger during practice this week is expected to have it operated on. Rick Walters, being around the team through the course of this season, knows the system, and actually after that last play shows that he can make things happen.
Well, Elgard can't bring this one down. And it'll be 2nd down. Alondra Johnson in the middle of it.
Alondra Johnson, 51, defensively.
Well, he's had a great year again. Wally Buono, very complimentary today about his consistent effort. Not just this year, but over the last few years. He's led this team in tackles for 5 straight seasons.
And he's the heartbeat of this defense. He's the emotion that gets guys fired up.
Here come the Stamps. Over the middle and a drop pass. Flags down, but Albert Turner dropped one that was delivered just a bit behind him, but Jones was under the gun.
Holding against Saskatchewan.
Holding, Saskatchewan number 65. Penalties decline, 3rd down.
Pete Shorts, the import offensive lineman, with the holding call. And Saskatchewan will have to kick it away.
Take a look right at the top of your screen as Marvin Pope is able to beat Pete Shorts to the inside. Just as Pope went by, Shorts decided to tackle him. Scott Henderson tried to come out there and help, but it was too late. The penalty had already been called.
Marvin Coleman, the only man
Just
back for
one
Calgary.
man back for Calgary. That's Coleman, awaiting the punt of the former Calgary Stampeder, Brett Matic. Coleman can't field it. And this one bounces back to the 25, and Coleman just has to down it there. 2:09 to go in this first quarter, and that was a 50-yard Brett Matic punt.
Back at McMahon, it's Calgary 6-0 with 2:09 to go in the first quarter. Want to remind you, coming up next Saturday, CBC Sports coverage of thoroughbred horse racing continues with the Breeders' Cup from Belmont Park in New York. Brian Williams and Jim Bannon will be there to cover the day for us. Chris?
Well, Scott, it was 50 years ago today. The Calgary Stampeders played their first football game against the Regina Roughriders. Calgary prevailed that day 12-0. Ray Yacht has been animated on that sideline since the opening kickoff. Down to a couple of minutes to go. First quarter, 6-0 for the Stampeders. Here's the hitch screen out to Terry Vaughn. And Vaughn breaks a tackle and is up past the 45. And finally stopped at the 51 by Dale Joseph. That's the second big gainer to Terry Vaughn today. 26 for Vaughn that time.
For the Calgary Stampeders, it's a 26-yard play. Dave Van Bellingham, number 7.
Just a hit screen. Let's let it run and let's see what happens here. A play that the Saskatchewan Roughriders did a lot against the Calgary Stampeders last week. Again, payback's a little bit of a treat for the Calgary offense. And Terry Vaughn making a lot of things happen after he catches the ball.
First down at the 51. And it's a swing pass to Stewart, who cuts it back. Another big hole. Tony Stewart caught from behind by Dale Joseph. And Garcia's got them going here. Check that. Donaldson on the tackle. 26 yards for Stewart that time. Final minute, first quarter. And the Stamps offense has been moving at least down to the deep part of the Saskatchewan territory. They haven't got it in the end zone yet, but from the 20 to the 20, they've been very effective.
It comes down to execution, and when Jeff Garcia has the time to execute, he makes things happen. The offensive line doing a good job.
Over the middle, up for grabs, and it falls incomplete. Dave Sapunjas went up with one hand to spear that one. Couldn't bring it down.
Incomplete.
Good look at Gary Rogers and Ron Getz, the two linebackers, having a little talk of what went on in that zone coverage, making sure that they get their assignments correct. Gary Rogers, 6'3", 225 out of Vanderbilt. Good look at Ray Elgard on the sideline.
Second and 10, Stampeders.
Boy, he must have been thrilled with last week. A tremendous scene at Taylor Field, but they still need one more win to ensure a playoff spot. There's a deep pass, falling incomplete, and once again, Garcia looking at a third down situation. He was trying to hook up with Tyrone Williams that time, who will get more playing time today with Alan Pitts out of the game. A viral infection keeping the number 3 receiver in the CFL out today. So Mark McLaughlin is called upon for the third time this afternoon.
Chris, if he is successful with this, it will give him 201 points for the 95 season. It would be his 6th career 200-plus season.
Got it. Final play of the first quarter. And McLaughlin has nailed 3 today. And the home side likes what they see so far. It's 9-0 Calgary after 1 quarter. Gorgeous autumn afternoon in Calgary. Dusting of snow overnight, but perfect football conditions, and looks like a couple of products from the Dan Kepley hat shot. We got the wheat field and the horse. Right now the horse.
Why are you looking at me when you're speaking of the horse?
Here's Albert Turner. Up to the 30-yard line. Well, Saskatchewan didn't have much offense in that first quarter. And the big difference, 148 yards for the Stamps, 54 for Saskatchewan. And when they had it going a bit, that fumble by Bruce Boyko turned it over.
They did. In the time of possession, Calgary having the ball almost 2 times more than Saskatchewan did. But to Saskatchewan's credit, the defense only gave up 3 field goals.
Warren Jones under the shotgun. Steps up. In pursuit is Ray Biggs. And Jones tumbling into the snow. That was Dondre Owens who was chasing him down. Doesn't look like anybody's hurt down there. That young lady just recorded her first tackle.
Calgary defense doing a good job of coverage in the secondary, and Dondre does an excellent job of preventing Warren Jones from picking up that first down. The snow and a fan ends up making the tackle.
She did a good job getting him down by the ankles.
She got low. She's got potential, I think.
Second down, Jones in the flat, and that's an incompletion. He was looking for his favorite receiver, Donald Narcisse. Hasn't caught one yet today, but 108 on the season.
Jones passes incomplete to bring up 3rd down.
Gene Mikowski, the right tackle, showing a lot of problems as far as being able to keep Alondra Johnson right at the line. If you set quickly, get your feet up underneath you against some of these guys, you're able to slow down the rush of this tough Stampeder defense, and that's going to allow Warren Jones a little more time to hopefully complete some passes for Saskatchewan's sake.
Matic kick, and Pee Wee Smith got tied up there a little bit with Marvin Coleman. Joe Toth with the tackle for the Roughriders. Just a 34-yard punt by Brent Matic. Chris Cuthbert, Danny Kepley, Scott Oak, and the CFL on CBC crew at McMahon Stadium in Calgary, where Jeff Garcia and the Stampeders have a 9-0 lead early in the second quarter. And the Stampeders with a record of 45-5 on home turf in the Wally Buono era. Garcia goes to the air and has a completion over the middle to Vince Danielson, who so far today has been a favorite target.
Down by the Riders, number 74.
As I said earlier, this guy paid his dues and has really earned the respect of the quarterbacks. Sure hands, and the one thing even Dave Sapunja said that why this guy is so good is what he can do after he catches a football.
He had 5 catches for 61 yards last week. Still looking for his first 100-yard game of the season. And it's 1st and 10. Calgary at the 49-yard line. Garcia throwing in the flat. It's complete. Pee Wee Smith's knocked out of bounds. Brian Randall in coverage. Pee Wee with his 51st catch. Jeff Garcia a little slow to get up after that last completion.
13 yards on the play. 1st and 10, Stampeders at the Rider 48.
Garcia has taken some punishment over recent weeks. Let's see what happened here.
Right at the end, that's Glenn Kulka getting cut from behind, and then he falls into the knee of Jeff Garcia from the blind side. Jeff Garcia does strike me as a very tough guy. He gets up and gets right back into the play.
Stewart over the 45, near the 43. Close to 5 for Stewart. As the Stamps have been able to move the football on the ground against Saskatchewan so far this afternoon.
Game 4, 2nd down and 6 at the 44.
1st and 10 situation. 2 backs. Sean Daniels was in the backfield. Now Sean leaves the game, and taking his place, Tyrone Williams, with that 6 receiver set, really opens up the offensive possibilities for Jeff Garcia.
Pressure on Garcia over the middle. It's complete, and Dave Sapunjas is down to the 21. 105th catch on the year for Sapunjas, and he is the league leader in yardage with that catch now at 1,540 yards.
And 28, Johnny Brady.
5 catches for 78 yards last week and 1 touchdown. But here's where Sapunjas really excels. Being able to work one-on-one and then sliding away, finding the open spot, and making himself a big target for Jeff Garcia to hit easily.
Hasn't had a 100-yard game since Labor Day. Saskatchewan on the blitz, but flags down and the play didn't get off.
Time count violation. Calgary number 7, 5 yards, still 1st down.
So they'll move it back to the 26.
1st and 15.
And it'll be 1st and 15 as Garcia takes the signals from Hupnagel.
Jim Daly's Saskatchewan defense shows a lot of different alignments, a lot of different formations. The dime back, 6 defensive back, really tried to make Calgary think.
Swinging out to Stewart, and that time Ron Getz wasn't fooled a bit. He met Stewart right at the line of scrimmage. And it'll be 2nd down and 15. Well, Huck Huffnagel talked about the recognition problems Saskatchewan can produce.
And speaking of recognition, Ron Getz does a good job of recognizing that little swing pass, then using what he possesses, great speed and quickness and anticipation to get to the play and make it happen short of a first down. Second and long.
Yeah, they gave Stewart 1, second and 14. And they're going deep, looking for Tyrone Williams, incomplete.
Number 83, Tyrone Williams in the end zone, trying to chase down
Terrell Ulmer trying to stay with Williams. The pass overthrown. Brings up third down, and once again, Mark McLaughlin, who has kicked 3 in 4 attempts already, comes back. The Calgary Stampeders have had chances today to put this one out of reach early, and Saskatchewan's defense has stiffened down deep.
Jeff Garcia probably got hit 15 or 16 times during the course of last week's game. Those big 5 horses up front doing a good job of giving him time and protection.
From the 32-yard line, McLaughlin is good again. He's 4 for 5, and it's 12-0 Calgary.
Volunteer will bring the message right to your seat.
Back at McMahon Stadium, Wally Buono's team up by a dozen over Ray Yock's Roughriders here early in the second quarter.
And Wally had to admit, he said, this is not the same team that we started out with in July. He said because of injuries, fatigue, maybe motivation, and losing some of the key players that we have lost, it's a different team.
Different game from a week ago. Anthony McClanahan gunning down Warren Jones that time. Well, McClanahan, Wally Buono was talking about a young Alondra Johnson, and he shows you his raw speed and power here.
6'2", 222 pounds, out of Washington State, possesses great quickness. Wally says, you know, he's just young. He's like a young thoroughbred. He'll run and run and run and play, and he'll make things happen. He doesn't really understand this game completely yet, but when he can chase you down, and he can make something happen, and he can hurt you when he hits you.
Well, his defense has been revved up from the start. So far this afternoon, Will Johnson and Pete Shorts having words as play was whistled down at the snap of the ball.
Time violation. Saskatchewan number 6, 5 yards, still second down.
So they'll move it back 5 more, and it'll be 2nd and 21.
Wally Buono in the defense. Frank Spaziani doing a good job giving Warren Jones a lot of different looks and making him think.
Jones over the middle, and Walters out of the backfield can't hang on. Matt Finley was around the football, and he's around Walters right now.
Matt Finley doing a great job in the middle after being moved from the outside linebacker in his 10th season in the CFL. And he says this may be it. He says, and I want to go out with a big bang. And the only way that that's going to take place is to be holding up the Grey Cup, having a little champagne at the end of the season.
Pee-wee's back.
Third down.
And manage on third down.
Back in confirmation.
Smith from his 44 got through the hole and got across midfield. And the Stampeders have had great field position. Saskatchewan came up with the ball, but after the whistle.
Number 1, Wayne Cole with tackle on 42-yard kick.
Canadian Tire has guaranteed low prices every day on MotoMaster batteries, so you can get one whenever you need one, and you won't get left out in the cold.
Well, kept so far, it's been all Calgary. They haven't pushed it into the end zone yet, but that Saskatchewan defense has been on the field an awful long time in this first half.
Bobby Durson, again, as I mentioned in the opening, 2 sacks last week, has not been seen in the backfield of Calgary Stampeders so far in this first half.
Tony Stewart, the ball carrier, down to the 50. Pickup of 2 to 3.
But Chris, it really is a tough situation. This Calgary team has gotten so good the past few years. They've jumped out so far ahead in the race. After a while, clinched the first place position. Then all of a sudden, now you're trying to figure out each week, do you go out there and play for pride? Do you play for self-improvement? What do you play for? But now it's getting down to the real part of the season, the playoffs, where they have to be able to turn it up for 60 minutes to be able to win in a playoff situation.
2nd and 8, and another time count violation. They'll mark it back 5.
Calgary number 7, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
Well, Wally brought an interesting point today. He's not sure there's a connection with playing well or not playing well today or next week, and how that relates to the playoffs. And the reason he felt like that was the playoff game against Saskatchewan last year. They totally dominated the Roughriders. He thought they were as ready as they possibly could be for the Western Final, and then the BC Lions came along. Garcia on a roll, in trouble, and Garcia down. Lost the ball. Saskatchewan needed a break, and they got one. First turnover by Calgary, as Garcia comes up limping and without the football.
One of the first times that we see a lot of heat turned up on Jeff Garcia as he tries to sprint out, moves the pocket. Ron Getz, the middle linebacker, scrapes from that middle position, blows inside, and Gary Rogers, the outside linebacker, comes up with a big turnover, gives Warren Jones some pretty good field position, 1st and 10.
And Garcia struggles off as Jones goes to work. Has time and has Donald Narcisse. So the streak's alive at 143 games, and for Narcisse, catch number 109 on the year.
It's a game of 13 for the Riders. 1st and 10 from the Calgary.
The most popular rider.
He may be one of the most underrated wide receivers ever to play in the CFL. 143 consecutive catch games. The last 2 games coming in here, he has caught 24 passes for 216 yards and 3 touchdowns.
First down, Saskatchewan. Jones got outside Alondra Johnson, gets it down for Farthing at the 10. Great play by Jones to elude the rush of AJ. And the Riders fans have their first play to really cheer about. 28 yards, Jones to Farthing.
Take a look. This is going to be the heat that's going to come right from this side. Now, I want you to watch very closely. Watch the arm of Warren Jones as he fakes. Now he gets the defender up in the air, buys a little more time.
Here's Jones quickly for Elgard, and it was tipped. Elgard awaiting the pass. Thought he had a sure touchdown. But Gerald Vaughn got his hand on the football. Man, it's 2nd down. Calgary with the lead, 4 field goals. Saskatchewan looking for the first touchdown of the afternoon.
Gerald Vaughn getting back in this lineup after a couple of games that he missed, played last week. But they really need the likes of he and also Kent Leonard at the other halfback to make them a solid defense that they have been through the course of the season.
2nd and 10, and looked like Calgary jumped offside. Pass for Narcisse incomplete. But that appeared to be a free down for Saskatchewan.
Narcisse is incomplete, and a flag was down. It'll still be 2nd down.
And it is Calgary offside. It'll be 2nd down over for the 5.
Calgary 81, 5 yards, repeat 2nd down.
Will Johnson was across the line early.
Just right at the bottom of your screen, Will Johnson, number 81, gets caught in the neutral zone. The ball snapped, giving Warren Jones a free play. 2nd and about 5.
Jones has to run out of the pocket. Throwing for Turner, incomplete. Al Jordan had picked up Turner. And it's 3rd down. Saskatchewan has had trouble this year from down in this range inside the 10 of making touchdowns.
You can see some of the speed here coming just from the right of your screen very quickly. Was Will Johnson getting caught inside. Warren Jones being able to break containment, getting outside, but then the great pursuit speed of a Will Johnson forced Warren to throw that ball just a little bit before he was ready.
So our first look of this season at Dave Ridgway's replacement, at least for today, Paul McCallum. Off the BC Lions practice roster in to attempt the chip shot.
And the kick is good.
And that was a non-pressure kick for McCallum to get Saskatchewan on the board.
Row 18.
Saskatchewan Roughriders on the board. Late first half. It's 12-3. Well, if you're going to come in a pressure cooker like this Dave Ridgway controversy in Regina, I think you'd want to start with a 12-yarder, wouldn't you?
Well, you want to start with something that you can have some confidence in doing.
Well, they wanted him for long kickoffs. That is not what Ray Yock had in mind.
Well, and I think if we're going to be honest about some of the controversy that we talked about, one of the things that Ray Yock may have been disappointed with is Dave Ridgway's distance on his kickoff. He said the ball was probably landing around the 15 or 20, 25, giving an opportunity for pretty good field position, 1st and 10. That's why they felt it wasn't his field goal kicking at all, from what I can understand and gather. McCullough, maybe a younger leg, maybe a stronger, obviously a younger leg, but maybe a stronger leg, was able to kick off. The first kickoff that he did make was a very deep kickoff. This one he was trying to do a little too much.
Let me ask you, what kind of effect does it have on a football team when a 10 to 15-year veteran, regardless of position, is left off the roster at this point in the season?
Chris, it has a major effect, and it really asks the teammates to be able to rise above it and take the blinders off and be able to see maybe the larger picture as opposed to just a smaller picture of what's happening.
Tony Stewart had trouble picking up the ball, but did a nice job once he got his hands on it. Across the 45-yard line, 5:13 to go in this first half, and it's a 9-point Calgary lead.
You know, just to pick up a little more of what you were asking me, I had a chance to sit down and talk with Bobby Jurison before the game, and Bobby says, hey, I love Dave Ridgway. I've known him for 10 years. I know him as well as my own brother. It hurts, and it bothers us about this, but he says, I know I'm seeing the small picture. I have to see the larger picture if that's possible. Right now, it's hard to see that, and I can accept that. They're playing with a lot of heart and a lot of emotion, some of the things that are taking place on the Saskatchewan team right now.
Garcia, you saw limping out and in trouble again, drops the ball. That's Saskatchewan football. Second straight play that the Roughriders have come up with a fumble recovery, this one by Glenn Kalka.
Jeff Garcia catches himself and puts himself in a very vulnerable position. Look how he jumps up in the air. Then he's starting to bring the ball down. Ron Getz gets a shot on it with the helmet, and Kalkamania does a good job of being able to cover that ball up. I take that back. That's Troy Alexander, number 46, that got the helmet on the ball.
No question, Glenn Kalka came up with the recovery, his second of the year. And suddenly Saskatchewan with a chance to get right back in it, thanks to a couple of turnovers. In the flat, Albert Turner stretched out for that and ends up in the net without the football.
Hold on, okay, good job, okay.
Day and night difference between Warren Jones today and Warren Jones last week standing in the pocket. He looks very shaky, very uncomfortable right now, trying to make something happen, having to throw the ball very quickly. He doesn't have quite the time that he had the luxury of last week.
He looked so sharp last week. Everything seemed to be on time for Saskatchewan. They were very precise. Little heat will change that, and they got him again. Back at the 51-yard line. Great pressure defense, and Guado said, we need a better push today to get to Jones. And Anthony McClanahan and company are doing just that.
When you play your dime back, here's going to Warren. He's going to slide out. But this is number 24. This is Dondre Owens is going to come up, and he's going to be one of those guys that at the last minute goes to the outside, gets up in the face of Warren Jones, forces him back into the pursuit, and that allows that very tenacious defense to be able to make the tackle and the sack from behind.
Saskatchewan a man short on this punt formation. And they're going to have to take a time count violation. Gary Rogers late to come out. And that'll drive a coach nuts.
Timeout violation.
5 yards, still third down.
So after the sack of Jones and the penalty, it's back on the Saskatchewan side of half. The game for Saskatchewan. They've taken 90 yards worth in this first half so far. Managed kick comes down to Pee-wee. Flag down as Smith is stopped at the 36. 3:29 left in the first half. 4 field goals for Calgary and 1 place kick for Saskatchewan.
Illegal block against Calgary. We'll listen to the call.
Illegal block. Calgary 29. 10 yards, first down.
Craig Brenner called on the illegal block that time.
Craig Brenner, number 29, right in the middle of your screen. Lines up one into the Saskatchewan coverage man and puts it right in the middle of the back.
Last 2 plays for Garcia have been fumbles, and here they come again. Rogers gets him before he can even hand it off. I don't see a flag. That was either perfect timing or was Rogers just a step offside. I'd like to have another look.
Look right in the middle of your screen. It is great timing, and he is clearly on sides. He's able to make that play, get into Jeff Garcia's face and make the tackle very, very quickly.
I should have known, Jeff. Never in doubt a linebacker. 3 minutes to go, first half at McMahon Stadium. Gary Rogers with the sack of Jeff Garcia, forcing a 2nd and 14, and that was perfect timing by Rogers. And now Garcia operating under the shotgun, just got it away, and no catch. Pee-wee stretched up for it, but couldn't haul it in. And Garcia took another big hit as he delivered the football, and he has been punished for the 2nd straight week.
Just as he releases the ball, Troy Alexander doing a good job of the push up front, and he gets right in the chest of Jeff Garcia.
Well, even when Garcia limped off the last time, Doug Flutie did not go near his helmet. I'm not sure he's the backup quarterback at all today.
I don't think Doug is even going to be considered to be the backup. If Doug's going to be, he'll take his hat off and walk over and they talk to Sean Moore and give him some pointers on what to do when he goes in. But you will not see Doug Flutie throw the ball as a quarterback today.
First punt by Tony Martino was a dandy. And Calgary with great coverage as well. And that's a 51-yard punt by Martino. And Aaron Ruffin had just 5 on the return. Kevin Reed, one of the first men downfield. Well, Frank Spaziani's defense has done a nice job so far on Warren Jones, although that last series by Saskatchewan netted some points.
The Italian connection, Frank Spaziani, Bob Spaziani, and also Wally Buono are all there working together on a very tough defense.
Here's Elgar. Big Ray took a lick. Gonzalo Floyd finished him off with Will Johnson underneath. Yeah, you go into Bob Vespasiani's office and he's got those big posters of The Godfather 1 and 2.
There's just a couple of things I want to talk about here too. You come on in and we're going to speak about this. You know, he's pretty good about it.
Didn't know Elvis was Italian.
Well, you wouldn't test him, but he has been around this league and he's been around the CFL, and Bob Vespasiani has seen it all.
2nd and 6, looks like Calgary jump. And a completion for a first down pending the penalty to Donald Narcisse. Well, you were talking about being underrated as they sort out the penalty. I found it surprising, not only Narcisse 5th all-time among receivers in the CFL, but first among wide receivers all-time. Calgary's offside, but there's a holding call against Saskatchewan. That'll negate the Narcisse catch.
Offside. Calgary. Holding. Saskatchewan 63. 5-yard difference. Second down.
Scott Hendrickson guilty of the hold.
Our official attendance.
So they move it back 5 yards.
33,358.
They just announced the attendance, over 33,000 here. Second largest crowd of the season after the Labor Day sellout. For this 50th anniversary day for the Calgary Stampeders. Warren Jones, low snap, just got away from the rush. And there's Elgard hauling it in. And has a first down for the Roughriders at the Calgary 38. Under 2 minutes to go, and big Ray Elgard has a 20-yard pickup.
Ray Yock talked about his escapability and then the composure to set his feet, get his shoulders square, and find the sure-handed Ray Elgard down the field to keep this drive alive and keep possession of the football.
Saskatchewan down by 9. Jones in the flat. Is that timing pattern to Narcisse? That's been run to perfection for 9 years with Donald Narcisse in the Saskatchewan offense, and the timing perfect with Warren Jones.
Donald Narcisse being a member of a very elite pass receiving club right there. 600 receptions or more. You can see it being led by Ray Elgard. And Narco with 2 catches today, 634.
Yeah, he could be number 3 all-time by the end of the year. Flag down. And another flag down as Narcisse was bumped by Coleman before the ball got there. So 2 different infractions on the field. We know one's against Coleman.
One came from the back, Judge. That should be the interference call, but also the head linesman threw a flag to see whether it's offside Calgary or possibly illegal procedure against Saskatchewan.
Offside. Calgary 81. Penalties decline. Forward pass interference. Calgary 17. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So Johnson was offside, but they'll take the pass interference call. 1:35 to go, first half. Ray Yock's team climbing back into this one. Down by 9, but threatening here as the ball is down to the Calgary 22. First and 10, Warren Jones.
First and 10 for the Roughriders at the Calgary 22.
Walters the lone man in the backfield. Jones with time. Elgard the catch, but a flag down, and this one coming back.
Ray Elgard, number 81, makes the catch.
Tell you what, though, Kep, I like the fact that Ray Elgard's becoming a more important part of this offense again, because he was ignored.
Holding. Saskatchewan 66. 10 yards. Still first down.
Mike Anderson.
Big Mike Anderson, 12-year veteran, playing his 204th consecutive game. Getting called for this holding. But I think that happens a lot. But the big thing getting Ray Elgard involved back into the offense, too, is the fact that Narcisse has become such a weapon. It does help to open up that middle and stretch the defense out across the field, and it gives Ray Elgard a lot more room to maneuver in the middle.
90 seconds to go, first half. And here's Rick Walters, and he's tripped up. There's Alondra Johnson. How many times have we seen him make that kind of defensive play?
His 6th season in the CFL. Coach Wally Bono really paid him the great compliment. He says game in, game out, year after year, this guy is my most dependable defensive player.
Maybe he has been overlooked, overshadowed by Willie Pless up in Edmonton, but he is and has been consistently one of the premier linebackers in this league in the 90s. 2nd and 17 for Jones. Here comes the Stamp rush, and they got him. 4th time today. Warren Jones can't get it off. And Marvin Pope has his 2nd sack. Big Daddy with 12 on the year. And
when Warren Jones has an opportunity to see this blitz coming, linebackers walked up, coming up quickly, needs to know that he's got to have a hot read. Receivers have to be able to read that. The offensive line, Mike Anderson, is the key guy that calls out the blocking schemes when he comes up to the line of scrimmage. This Calgary defense can and will turn the heat up on you.
So it's 3rd and 24, and the Stampeders, with 1:03 on the clock in this first half, have called a timeout. So their offense might have some time to do a little more damage and maybe to give Paul McCallum something to think about.
Well, I think here comes the first test. I think that little 12-yard chip shot, certainly it would be testy for me and you, but not for a professional kicker. But let's see how he holds up on his first attempt.
That was the warm-up. This from 43 out. And give him credit. Paul McCallum has hit and cuts the lead to 12-6 as we join Scott.
All right, Chris, you'd be surprised the pressure a 14-2 team finds itself under. Stampeders playing so well on the regular schedule created great expectations they failed to meet in the playoffs in each of the last 2 years. Still trying to deal with it, they are, and we'll look into that at halftime. And Dave Ridgway joins us from his home in Saskatchewan to talk about his unfortunate circumstances 14 years into his career. That's all coming up on the BF Goodrich TA halftime report.
Well, the Saskatchewan fans are cheering a comeback by their team in the 2nd quarter. And everywhere you go across the country, the green and white well represented. Dan Farthing's got a fan club here.
Give us a reminder, football fans, the Calgary Stampeders will be putting on
guys with green hair.
I don't think there's anything like a Saskatchewan Roughrider fan. I mean, they are true. That green hair may be natural. You just never know. But back to McCollum a bit. He played with Saskatchewan last year, and he was 11 for 13 during the change when he was kicking over in Regina.
So he's doing all right. He's 13 of 15 now. 58 yards on the kickoff, a 20-yard return. Dan Rashovich, another one of those great veterans, 12 years in the league with the tackle, and Garcia comes out with 54 seconds to work with. They'd like to expand that lead before halftime if they can.
1st and 10, Stampeders at their own 37.
This Calgary offense operating without Alan Pitts today, out with a viral infection.
And he had a bit of a hamstring problem. I think it's just a good time to let him rest.
Going to Sapunjas. Well, you may not have Pitts, but you got 25, and boy, is he dangerous. 27 yards on that one. Aaron Ruffin was in coverage, and I don't think he felt Sapunjas had control.
Well, I think he got the benefit of the doubt that the catch was made so quickly, they hit the turf so quickly, that they're saying that the turf caused the fumble. Obviously, it can't, so therefore they give him the completion.
And now Garcia just gets it away, and this time the Sponge couldn't soak it in.
Dave Sapunjas, number 25, with the
33 seconds left.
Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
And Garcia, again, as he delivered the ball, took a knock.
Well, he's prepared to do this. This is a young quarterback, and he knows he's going to get hit. Number 47, that's Ron Getz, the middle linebacker, comes and just plants it right in the middle of Garcia's chest. But he throws almost a perfect ball.
Shaky start for Saskatchewan, but they've given Calgary all they can handle in this 2nd quarter. 2nd down. Over the middle and off the fingertips of Terry Bond. So it'll be 3rd down. And at the 46-yard line, Mark McLaughlin will come on, facing a 53-yard attempt.
The mark is 3 for 6 from the 50-plus mark through the course of the 95 season.
Missed one earlier today from that range, and this would equal his season high. Well, actually, it'll be a 52-yarder.
Doug Moody will start the football.
I don't know if that makes it any easier or not.
Not much wind here at McMahon Stadium today, so this is going to be all leg.
Aaron Ruffin's the lone man back. McLaughlin has the distance, but he misses, and Ruffin will run it out. And Aaron Ruffin, nice move there, but he dropped the ball. 15 seconds left. Calgary's going to get another crack at it as Ruffin just put the football on the turf. Craig Brenner comes up with the ball. And McLaughlin's going to get another crack at it.
Terrific effort to get the ball out. Puts a good move on Doug Flutie, the holder. Doug takes a shot. The ball is stripped loose from behind, and Brenner does a good job of coming up with the recovery.
Yeah, Doug took a hit there from Vincent Donaldson, the hitman. And Marvin Pope getting attention.
Marvin Pope, number 91, the injured.
So Mark McLaughlin, 4 for 6 on the afternoon, is going to get a 7th attempt in this first half, thanks to the fumble by Ruffin. Although with 15 seconds to go, let's not count out Garcia from taking a crack at the end zone.
Oh, I think they still have an opportunity. They can run 2 plays probably. And if I'm not mistaken, Calgary still has a timeout left.
Well, they used it with about a minute to go.
That's right. With the minute to go, they had already used it. So, but I still think he's got time maybe to get 2 plays off and try to get the ball just a little closer for Mark McLaughlin.
Boy, Ruffin's been such a great return man for Saskatchewan this year. That could be a costly mistake, though. Don't want to give the Calgary offense too many second chances. Garcia's going for the bumble. Going for Sapunjas, and the flag comes down. In a battle with Ruffin. And this one is going against Saskatchewan. Or is it?
Number 33, Aaron Ruffin on the coverage.
Garcia just airs the ball out and lets Sapunjas run underneath it. Ruffin does a good job of turning his head back around, trying to fall the ball, and it looked like Sapunjas may have grabbed a hold of him somewhere and threw him out of the way.
Dave's heated up. I'm not sure what the call is. Dave Yule's going to
Four-pass interference, unintentional, Saskatchewan, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Oh, that's the call. Non-intentional, so it's just 10 yards instead of down by the goal line. And Ray Yock and the Riders get a break.
Penalty takes the ball over the Riders' 28-yard line.
9 seconds to go, Chris. Still the time for one more play, then bring on McLaughlin.
The 28. Garcia overthrows Vaughn in the sideline pattern. 5 seconds left.
Vaughn is incomplete.
And McLaughlin comes out.
Chris, let's go back and take a look at this play that really made a big turning point. Ruffin doing a good job. There's some contact made. He does an excellent job, I think, of getting his head back around. Sapunjas grabs a hold of him. I don't think there's any pass interference call there.
Mark McLaughlin.
Well, I'll back the official that there was pass interference. It was whether or not it was intentional or not. You're from the old school that if there's no broken bones, there's no foul.
No blood, no foul. Absolutely.
But Mark McLaughlin has kicked another field goal, and it's a 9-point lead, and Aaron Ruffin will think about the fumble. Gave Calgary a chance to put 3 more up.
It has been one of those halves for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, one of those bend but not break situations. And they have kept the Calgary Stampeders off of the scoreboard of majors.
After a slow start, Saskatchewan's hung pretty tough here in this second quarter, and they're very much in this football game.
And their defense, Saskatchewan's defense, has been on the field a long time. Warren Jones has not been able to really sustain a lot of possession drives.
Final play of this first half, Rick Walters with the carry, and that will do it. Ray Yock and the Saskatchewan Roughriders need another win to qualify for the postseason, but they trail Wally Watto and the Stampeders by 9 points at the half.
Welcome to the BF Goodrich TA halftime. Now, here's your host, Scott Oak.
Through 30 minutes in Calgary, Stampeders lead by 9 at field level. They're just now getting ready to march out the Stampeder Dream Team. These are the 29 players, past and present, voted by Calgary fans to be the best Stampeder players ever. The football credentials in this crowd are unmatched. There are MVPs, Grey Cup champions, and Hall of Famers. They've got every era of Stampeder football covered, from the 40s through to the 90s. Put them all together in their prime, and who could beat them? There isn't a player in the game today who wouldn't cringe at the prospect of being thumped by middle linebacker Wayne Harris, and he thumped lots of them in the 60s. Larry Robinson kicked field goals and made the team as a defensive back, the one who still leads the Stampeders in interceptions. John Helton had 9 brilliant seasons in Calgary, an all-star in every one of them from 69 to 78. Tom Forzani was the go-to guy here from 73 to 83. He turned defenders inside out. In 75, Willie Burton was named the best player in the land. Give or take a James Sykes, the Stamps haven't had as prolific a rusher since. Terry Irvin is representative of a Stampeder tradition of standout defensive backs. The tradition includes Ron Hopkins, although he earned all-time great status for his work on kick returns. 6 members of the Dream Team are still playing. Will Johnson has been around only since '89, but he's the Stamps' all-time sack leader. Darrell Hall did enough in 3 seasons with the Stampeders from 90 to 92 to be named one of their all-time great defensive backs. You needn't imagine Dave Sapunges in his prime, because that's exactly where he is, along with Alan Pitts, both of them already over the magical 100-catch total this season. And for a no-brainer selection, quarterback Doug Flutie. He's only been here since '92, but he's already all-time everything. Doug Flutie, one of 5 current Stampeders voted to the Dream Team. Apparently only one other quarterback even got a vote. Current Stamps are used to winning, aren't they? 14-2 through 16 weeks. And life should be good for any team cruising atop the standings, as are the Stampeders, unless you're tortured by recent history. The Calgary locker room should be a happy place, but there are demons here that need to be exorcised. Demons from each of the last 2 years.
Touchdown Lions! BC's going to the Grey Cup!
2 years ago when Edmonton came here and beat us in the Western Final, and the Grey Cup was held here, and they came and used our locker room. They were the home team in our locker room. You know, that was a terrible feeling. You know, all I can say is that, you know, I honestly believe that we have learned and we strongly feel something from the last couple years which will enable us to get over that hump this year.
Losing in the West Final in both 93 and 94 has only increased the pressure. A 3rd straight playoff collapse would be catastrophic.
Does the phrase apocalypse now mean anything to you? It's like a noose that just keeps getting a little tighter as you get to the end of the year. This is something that this team has had to live with. It's a team that Larry Rickman has said was built to win championships.
And so the question is, have the Stamps, most of whom have lived through the last 2 years, learned anything?
Anytime you play playoff football, there's pressure. Now, obviously, we understand what transpired over the last couple of years. I think the players are very sincere in their efforts to go out there and get to the Grey Cup this year.
You can't be cautious. You have to go out and expect to win every game, and this team does. And we're not expecting to lose. We're expecting to win.
But playoff losses in each of the last 2 seasons have almost made Calgary fans forget the Stamps won the Grey Cup in '92. Late season losses in both '93 and '94 almost seemed to be a bad omen. The Stamps suffered one last week, but in the rematch today against the Green Riders, they lead by 9 through 30 minutes. The BF Goodrich TA halftime report will continue in just a moment. Well, 50 years ago today, the CFL's Calgary Stampeders played their first ever game. They beat the Regina Roughriders in front of 4,000 fans, so birthday celebrations are apropos today, given the opposition. Delighted we are to say there are about 30,000 more in this crowd, and what a nice job they're doing at field level to honor their dream team. Back with you now in Calgary as we continue with the BF Goodrich TA halftime report. The only item of business left to be decided in the CFL's North Division is whether Saskatchewan or Winnipeg gets the final playoff spot. 3rd and 4th places were finalized yesterday. In a driving rain in the nation's capital, hometown boy Ken Avrere blocked a Hamilton punt and ran it back 27 yards. This touchdown gave Ottawa a comfortable margin of victory. 30-9 the final. Riders end a 9-game losing streak, and the Cats cannot now catch BC for 3rd. The Lions gave the Stallions a scare in Baltimore last night. Corey Philpott had a pair of touchdowns for BC. This one made it 26-25 Lions with 2.5 to go. But with 11 seconds remaining on the clock, in came Carlos Huerta to boot Baltimore to victory. Stallions have won 9 straight. The Lions are on a 5-game skid. Baltimore owns first place. Stallions are still waiting to see if it's Saskatchewan or Winnipeg who will visit in the semifinals. The Birmingham Barracudas, now without Matt Dunnigan, could miss the playoffs if they lost their final game and Memphis won its. So the matchups in the South are far from finalized. BC confirmed in 3rd place in the North yesterday because of Hamilton's loss. So we know now it's BC at Edmonton and Hamilton at Calgary in the semis in 2 weeks' time. Saskatchewan still working on a playoff spot in the North Division, as we say, and now at the most exciting time of year, 14-year place kicker Dave Ridgway finds himself on the outside looking in, replaced by Paul McCallum. Ridgway spoke to us earlier from his home just outside Regina. Dave, I know you're hurt. You wouldn't be human if you weren't, but is there any part of you that sees Ray Yach's point that he thinks he's doing what's best for the Saskatchewan Roughriders?
Well, Scott, it's Ray Yach's football team, and, he's the boss. So he's going to do what he thinks is the right thing to do, and, that's basically the only way that I can handle that.
I appreciate you doing this interview, but in retrospect, might it have been better in an important week of preparation to say nothing and avoid this thing becoming a distraction to the team?
Well, I will tell you, there's no doubt that it has become a distraction, but I will tell you this, Scott, I have said nothing to the media for a number of reasons. One, I don't want to see this distract my teammates, but I've avoided making this an issue in the media, and I'm going to try and handle it with as much class as I can, even though sometimes that's tough.
Dave, how convinced are you that you're finished as a Saskatchewan Roughrider?
Oh, there's no doubt I'm finished as a Saskatchewan Roughrider. That's the unfortunate part. I had hoped to finish my career out here in the green and white after 14 years and a number of things done out here and accomplished out here with the team. I just don't see it smoothing out anymore, but I'll tell you what, I couldn't have played in a better place. I couldn't have been treated any more well by the people out here in Saskatchewan.
All right, Dave, I want to thank you for your time. You've been great with us over the years. I hope it works out for you.
Thanks a lot, Scott. Hopefully we'll see you again sometime.
Well, Dave Ridgway adamant he's going to play somewhere for at least 2 more years. Chris and Dan with me now. Cap, Dave Ridgway has had a charmed pro career. When any athlete as highly successful as him experiences rejection, it hurts.
Well, it hurts, and it hurts deep, and it hurts for a long time. I know Dave Ridgway as a friend, and I consider him a very good friend, and he's a class act. And I think that hopefully he will handle this in a proper fashion. And as he said, Ray Yach is the head coach, and sometimes head coaches may make good decisions, they may make bad decisions, but at this point that is a decision that they have to live with.
Well, Paul McCallum did boot a 43-yarder, and he looked good doing it in the first half. Chris, let's focus on this game now. Saskatchewan's defense has almost played a full game in the first half alone, and no one knows it better than the Calgary quarterback.
Jeff Garcia has been battered again, and this is the 2nd straight week, and I think Calgary's going to be glad that this season series is going to be over in 30 minutes because Garcia's taken some licks.
does a good job as he tries to get outside. Ron Gatz from the middle linebacking position, and they're trying to put heat on him from all different phases. Jim Daly, the defensive coordinator, trying to confuse this Calgary offense ever so slightly.
Oh, we had a little debate in the booth late in the first half after the Aaron Ruffin fumble. Was it pass interference or not, and should it have been spotted down at the 1-yard line? Ruffin against the punches here.
Ruffin does a good job of getting his head turned around. The one thing where he's guilty of, the interference is going to be called. He gets the right hand up on top of the shoulder of Sponge, and then it is called unintentional.
Well, Ruffin dropped the football here, and this is what gave Calgary a chance for one last field goal in the first half. But it was a game where fumbles really dictated the course of the first half.
And 5 field goals by Mark McLaughlin. The difference in this game, the stakes are high for the Riders. You have to look for their offense to turn it up a notch in the second half. So that's the BF Goodrich TA halftime report. Stand by now for the second half. Coming up from Calgary with the Stamps up by 9. Back in Calgary, moments away from the second half between the Stampeders and Green Riders. And with us now is one of the charter members of the Dream Team, just honored at halftime at field level. John Helton joins us. John, congratulations on your selection.
Thanks a lot, Scott.
Let me ask you this. Prevailing opinion is that if they put all you guys together in your prime, you'd never be beaten. Do you agree?
Oh, there'd probably be a bunch of all-stars on the other team that have something to say about that. So, and of course, we wouldn't all fit. So we might lose a game in 10 or 15 years.
Dan Kepley tells me that you look like you can still play and beat him on every play.
Well, Dan's absolutely the smartest guy I know, and he's right about that.
Fortunately, you guys played on the same side of the ball, so you never met. John, I want to thank you for your time once again. Congratulations on being honored today.
Thanks a lot, Scott.
All right, let's go now to Chris and Dan as we're set for the start of the second half.
And for youngsters who didn't see John Helton play, let's reconfirm he's on that all-time Calgary team for a reason.
Tell you what, one of the greatest athletes that I have ever seen, one of the most physical men, but also one of the biggest class acts that I have ever known in the CFL.
Aaron Ruffin gets things going in the second half with the kickoff return out to the 32-yard line, 14 yards after the McLaughlin kickoff. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders start this second half at McMahon Stadium down by 9. And they have not won here at McMahon since 1989. And Tom Burgess will start at quarterback in the second half. So Burgess will try to give Saskatchewan a different look on offense, replacing Warren Jones. Burgess over the middle to Rick Walters to get things going.
Now at quarterback for the Roughriders.
And a completion to the 37-yard line. Alondra Johnson the tackle. And there are the numbers for Tom Burgess on the season.
It's a gain of 5 yards.
Only 6 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. But I think this is a good curveball to throw at the Calgary defense right now. Warren Jones did not have great success with possession drives. This gives him an opportunity to stand on the sideline, take a look at what this defense is trying to do to the Saskatchewan offense. Then if you need be, you may come back in and see action later in this game.
2nd and 5. And Burgess throwing for Elgard, incomplete. And coverage by Gerald Vaughn on Elgard. So 2 and out on the opening possession for Tom Burgess. In relief for Saskatchewan, the numbers for the first half showed the edge to Calgary, although after the first quarter, things started to even off a bit.
One thing that's a little off there, that 65 yards rushing, Calgary was having a good first day, in first quarter, rushing this ball against the defense of Saskatchewan. They got away from it a bit.
Flag down as Matic boots it downfield, and Marvin Coleman. Boy, he can turn on a dime, can't he? One man to beat. Gets by Matic, but coming across, Coleman was stopped. Fumbled the football, and let's see.
Now, he fumbled the ball inside the field, but I think the last people to touch the ball were the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I think it's all for naught, Scott. Chris, because I think that for a fact that the Calgary defense was offside.
Offside. Calgary 44. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Okay, I have to admit something, though. Scott pays me money every time that I do mention his name on air.
Well, that was a costly offside. Now that we've got the introductions out of the way, we have Wally Buono and the defense back on the field for Calgary.
First and 10 at their own 42.
So a costly offside penalty negates a big punt return for Calgary and gives Tom Burgess another crack at it. Draw play, and Walters finds some room, and he's up near midfield. Tripped up by Gerald Vaughn. But Walters has a first down, a run of 12 yards. He came into the game with just 5 carries, 36 yards on the season. Out of Simon Fraser University, and Tom Burgess, whose last action was against Baltimore, and it was a good game for Burgess. 26 of 44, 278 yards, and a pair of touchdowns. Throws the out, and there's Elbert Turner working against Al Jordan. It's another first down for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and Turner is slow to get up.
Turner's one of those receivers that had 8 catches for only 62 yards last week, but the ball was being thrown in his direction. Tom Burgess can throw that wide side out. Good strong arm. Turner does a good job of looking that ball in, holding on to it, and picking up the first down.
First and 10, Saskatchewan.
So Saskatchewan now benefiting from the offside on third down. Driving into Calgary territory, Walters. And a short carry that time. Marvin Pope met him near the line of scrimmage.
Marvin Pope, number 91.
But both Burgess and Jones have turned things around for Saskatchewan in recent weeks. In their last 7 games, 14 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions for the 2 Saskatchewan quarterbacks.
Second down, 9 for the Riders.
Prior to that, the interceptions had outweighed the touchdown passes. Haven't got in the end zone so far today. Burgess looking downfield and has a completion to Farthing, who twists out of one tackle and has it at the 13.
Tom Burgess does an excellent job staying in the pocket, good vision down the middle of the field, and Dan Farthing finds the open area. Dondre Owens trying to do kind of a double coverage. He's got him underneath, and all of a sudden, then there is Marvin Coleman that's over the top.
Farthing with a 100-yard game last week.
21-yard game. It's first and 10 to Calgary.
His second in his career, and the Riders are threatening. The screen pass, and Walters dropped the ball. An incomplete pass.
Burgess pass intended for number 35, Rick Walters.
And it's second down.
Incomplete.
Tom Burgess getting good first down production and trying to slow that big rush of this Calgary Stampeders off with these screen passes, which have had some success. Boyko fumbling a long screen pass in the first quarter. Now this time it puts Burgess in a second and long.
Greg Knox showing blitz. Burgess standing in, looking for Boyko. Incomplete. Dondre Owens was step for step on the play defensively for Calgary. And still no touchdowns in this football game.
Frank Spaziani's defense, very tough in the secondary. They play super man-to-man coverage. Knocks out of the middle on the safety blitz, and everybody just presses up, gets in the face, and runs step for step down the field.
Tom Burgess, after the offside, took advantage, and a pretty encouraging start for him in a relief role, second half. And Paul McCallum, 2 for 2, will attempt a 25-yarder. Managed the holder. And McCallum's good. 3 for 3, 14 of 16 as the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And we're glad you're with us today from McMahon Stadium in Calgary, where the CFL leading Calgary Stampeders own a 6-point advantage against the Saskatchewan Roughriders in a battle for a playoff spot. And a short return of that line drive kickoff by Tony Stewart, just 11 yards on the run back after a 62-yard kickoff. Joe Toth, the newcomer out of the University of North Dakota, making the tackle. Well, Jeff Garcia has been hobbled today. He has been hit repeatedly in the last couple of weeks, and there are the numbers through the first half of football.
And you've won a $100 gift certificate courtesy of ServiceMaster.
Last week, his numbers were 18 for 38, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he also threw 2 picks.
So Saskatchewan's keeping him at under 50% efficient. And there's an incompletion to start the second half. Tony Stewart, the intended receiver out of the backfield, and Dale Joseph was there defensively. Here's how he's mixed it up with his receivers today, and nobody has been a favorite target, although Terry Vaughn is the leader in yardage today. Tell you what, when you've got those numbers against the high-powered Calgary offense, you've done a good job defensively.
Well, more importantly, when you've kept them out of scoring a major touchdown through the course of 30 minutes, you've done a pretty good job against this high-powered offense.
2nd and 10. And Garcia, what a great catch that is. That's why he leads the league. Dave Sapunjas, I mean, he turned and the ball was there, a little behind him, but Sponge brought it in.
That's a big sponge that can suck up a lot of footballs. Look, one-handed left hand. The right hand doesn't even make a touch of the football, brings it in. Tremendous concentration, great balance.
You know what's unbelievable? He leads the league in receiving this year, yardage-wise. He has not been picked as the offensive player of the week once in the Calgary Stampeders offense.
So coming into this game, it's a little funny. Narcisse had 108 carries and 108 receptions, and Sponge had 104 coming into the game.
Time count violation. Calgary number 7, 5 yards, still first down.
Boy, there's been a lot of time count violations on either side the last couple of weeks.
What a hot air balloon ride. Compliments.
And they'll move it back 5. 8:42 to go, third quarter, a 6-point Stampeder lead.
At the south end of McMahon, don't forget to bring your program and your lucky ticket.
But once again today, Jeff Garcia has found this Saskatchewan defense very tough to crack. And he overthrows Terry Vaughn, who takes a hit and draws a flag.
Terry Vaughn, number 2,
Ulmer, took the free shot at Vaughn.
Hit by number 2, Terry Ulmer.
And probably wishes he didn't.
Well, there's a time and a place to get physical about things, and you have to have controlled aggression.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Saskatchewan number 2, 15 yards, first down.
Little different change in the formation. Number 2, Terry Vaughn, coming out of the backfield. The ball's clearly overthrown. And number 2, Terrell Ulmer, comes up and just to let Vaughn know that he was there. Gets him 15 yards. Keeps possession to the Calgary Stampeders after they had stopped them deep in their own end.
High shotgun snap. Garcia in trouble. And down. Back at the 42-yard line as Bobby Jurison gets to Jeff Garcia. Sack number 121 for Bobby Jurison in an illustrious 10-year career.
Bobby, with that speed, just says he's having so much fun out there playing this year. High snap, no one's going to block him. He comes off the corner quick, makes a sure tackle on the upfield shoulder, doesn't allow Garcia to go anywhere.
Loss of 9 in 2nd and 19. Garcia unloading deep, looking for Vaughn, and that's incomplete. The ball went 5 yards too long, and Brian Randall, a nice job in coverage for Saskatchewan.
Number 22.
Jeff Garcia stood in the pocket. He takes another big hit. I think this time LeVrant Robinson comes in. Just as he releases the ball, gets the arms up, throws him to the ground, doesn't get a penalty, holds those hands up, and I think everybody feels as the defensive player, as soon as you hit the quarterback, if you throw your hands up, you're not going to get a flag. That case, it at least worked.
Brian Randall, number 22.
Second punt of the game for Tony Martino. And a 51-yarder the first time. Blasts another. And Aaron Ruffin will start it back. It's across the 25-yard line. That's where Saskatchewan will put the ball in play on offense when we return to McMahon. 33,000 plus at McMahon Stadium, seeing a defensive duel between the Calgary Stampeders and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And Saskatchewan has gone to their backup quarterback, Tom Burgess, in this second half to try and get the Roughriders the lead. They have a field goal in this second half, and now Burgess going to the air. And an open Rick Walters, but a flag down.
Late flag on the outside from the back judge. Maybe some illegal contact against Calgary.
Illegal contact on an eligible receiver. Calgary 17, 10 yards, first down.
Marvin Coleman. Now, Kemp, I asked Wally Bono this today. I'm going to ask you. Here's Calgary, dominated the first half of the year, and then in recent weeks, they trailed Winnipeg, just scrambled to come back. They trailed Toronto, were pushed by the Argos. They trailed BC at the half before coming back. Lost last week, having trouble today. Let's watch this play as it's out in the flat. There's Donald Narcisse with a catch near a first down. Is this a sign that Calgary's coming back to the rest of the league, or is it a sign that Saskatchewan and the other teams have had more to play for in recent weeks?
Well, I think the second is the case in this situation. These guys set out in July as being a very dominant force in the CFL. They did extremely well, and they jumped out into this race so far ahead that all of a sudden, now some things have taken place. Fatigue, injury. You lose Doug Flutie, you lose Alan Pitts, you lose Kenton Leonard, you lose Stu Laird for the last 3 weeks. Those are key players off of your roster, and you have, other than pride,
second down, David.
Not a lot of things to play for out there. You have clinched first place. It makes it very difficult to have to go out there, and to go out there, not have to, but to go out there very willingly and excitedly, go out there and win football games. Now it's a time that they are really starting to understand some of the things that are ahead of them. This is a big challenge for them. They need to come back, bounce back after a loss last week against the same team, get ready, because they may not take, for whatever reason, they may not take Toronto very seriously next week, Friday. I think they play them. So it's up to them to get motivated and get back on the track today.
Second and inches, and Burgess going deep, looking for Narcisse. What a catch! They're ruling he's out of bounds. But even with the out-of-bounds call, you get another sign of why this guy is such a terrific receiver. That was a heck of an effort.
This is what you get from Donald Narcisse. Every time out there is a heck of an effort. Full stride, fighting with the defender, and so close. A little push right at the end to number 27, Al Jordan. Comes down, makes the catch, but not with 1 foot in bounds.
Yeah, the knee touched out of bounds before the foot came down, and now Burgess on third down will move the sticks. I'll tell you what, I like the call too. Second and inches, why not?
Oh, absolutely. You've got to go for it right now. Go big or go home, because you're fighting for that playoff spot, and Ray Yock wants to be there.
We saw Saskatchewan play Toronto a few weeks ago, and Ray Yock looked at the schedule, 2 with Baltimore, 2 with Calgary, and then they'll close against BC, and he said, we'll find out how good we are or can be. Against Baltimore, they showed they could play with the best. Last week, they showed they could beat the best, and they're trying to do it again today. Rick Walters up to midfield and into Calgary territory. 5:40 left, third quarter.
Gets it up the midfield, a gain of 6.
And that's a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 for Saskatchewan. And Walters has done a pretty good job relieving Darren Joseph today.
Does a terrific job, and I think Burgess does a good job of making a play selection there. Knowing the Calgary Stampeders comes at him, good pass rush outside, leaves that middle vulnerable.
2nd and 4, Burgess with time, over the middle, and there is Walters out of the backfield. And he'll move the sticks.
Walters with the catch. Along with Johnson, number 51.
Well, Walters showing you that he can come out of the backfield and catch the ball.
And that's one thing that Darren Joseph could do so extremely well, along with blocking. But now it's an opportunity that Walters gets to show that he can do the same thing. Makes a big catch, creates a first down, and makes the possession, keeps this thing alive.
Yep, Will Johnson's out of the game with a hamstring pull. There's Narcisse in the flat with a catch at the 39, but there hasn't been as much of a rush in the second half, and 81 out of the game is a big factor in that. We've lost Stu Laird, of course. He's out with knee problems.
All right, Calgary, let's hear it.
Dwayne Patterson will come in for Will Johnson. And Saskatchewan's on the move. Second down and 5. Burgess, lots of time. And almost picked off. Thought he had interception number 7 on the year, and it wouldn't have just been his 7th interception, but it might have gone for 6.
Burgess held on and hesitated just a little bit. Now watch the cut when Narcisse makes the break. He stops right there, makes one step back, and then stops, as opposed to keep coming back. Coleman had some speed. He made the break on the ball and considered making the advance toward the ball and almost came up with a great pick, and that would have been an easy 6 points.
Well, it's been dueling kickers today. Mark McLaughlin has 5, and McCallum will try to keep his perfect run alive with this 46-yard attempt.
Backed it up, too much time.
Time count violation, Saskatchewan number 4.
Well, you got to wonder if they weren't trying to draw Calgary offside. And it sounds like they're going to send the punter out and pin Saskatchewan deep instead of attempting what would be a 51-yarder. Should McCallum have missed from 51, then the ball gets spotted at the 44. So instead, Manich comes on, and he'll try to drive Calgary deep. Late in the third quarter.
That's not a yard, sir.
Saskatchewan said Calgary had lined up inside that 1-yard restraining, but no flags. And Pee Wee cut down immediately. That's Dave Pitcher, who was so brilliant a week ago with 5 specialty team tackles, and another big play here late in the third quarter. Glorious day at McMahon Stadium, over 33,000 enjoying it, and we're in the third quarter with Calgary leading and pinned deep in their own zone.
If there's a good look at a very happy guy, both to be leading this game, and also that's Tony Marciano, the offensive line coach, a new papa. Thursday morning, 11:05, Anthony Michael was born, and he said, you know something, he was born at 11:05, I had a 1:15 meeting, and I made the meeting on time. I said, Coach, are you crazy? He said, look, we lost last week. We needed to do a little bit work. But he is very happy, and hopefully wife and the baby will be out in a couple of days.
We got that theme going. You got the Marciano, Vespasiani, Spaziani, Buono.
You want to argue with that?
Well, I was just going to say John Hufnagel clearly got his job on merit, because it doesn't sound Italian.
An idyllic day here, I think, is your term, isn't it?
It's very nice. At the 20, it's first down Calgary, and Garcia has to scramble out, throws across the middle, and it's incomplete. Dave Manville and the safety was there to jar Tyrone Williams, the intended receiver.
Well, this is a safety that played just as well as he was coached. Our great spotter here, Daryl Moore, coached him, and he leads the Saskatchewan defense with interceptions, 7 this year. He is the last player in Saskatchewan history to have 7 picks. The last guy was Glenn Suter, who had 8 in 1991.
Here's Garcia, 2nd and 10, looking deep. Tyrone Williams, and it's batted away. Nice knockdown there by Terrell Ulmer, step for step. Williams has the size advantage, but Ulmer got the job done at 5'9", 180, up against 6'5", Tyrone Williams.
Having an opportunity to talk with John Huffnagel about Ty Williams. He talks about what great athletic ability he has. He still is just not quite comfortable in this philosophy in this organization yet out there with the system that the Calgary Stampeders use. And you can see again, Jeff Garcia pays the price after releasing the football.
Well, Martino's done a good job when called upon today. Roughing. And a wave of Stamps. Don't let him get to midfield.
It's one of the phases of the game that Coach Buono had said had really improved since 1994. Their special teams. Younger guys had to have matured, better team speed, better coverage. He was very, very happy with this phase of the game.
Well, a 42-yard punt by Tony Martino. I'll tell you, when Martino's finished, he might be a kicking coach for Calgary. And look at the good coverage. Boy, it looked like even Dwayne Provo was in on that tackle.
Everybody was going to get a hand on him then.
There's Rick Walters and nothing doing.
Number 35.
Well, Dondre Owens was there. And real wave of red and black. Marvin Pope in the middle of it and saying, no way. Minute 20 left, third quarter.
We had a chance to talk with Wally about Marvin Pope and just a great asset and a great athletic ability that he has. He plays, he says he's like a utility guy in baseball. One day he can be a pitcher, he can be a second baseman, he may be a DH hitter. He said he can play defensive end, he can play linebacker, he can play tackle if you have to.
Second and 10, and there's Farthing. And Tommy Burgess got it well out the flat to Dan Farthing for a first down, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders are into Stampeder territory. At the 48.
That ball hung out there ever so slightly, and Saskatchewan and Dan Farthing were very lucky about it. Dondre Owens, number 14, is limping off the field. Coming off, looked like he may have pulled up a hamstring. And it changes a little bit of the scheme that Calgary wants to run defensively. They send Strickles Izakovic back in, so you have 4 down linemen now.
Anthony McClanahan comes out. Long, wide out. Gilbert Turner was the intended receiver, and that's incomplete. 36 seconds to go, third quarter. And it's second and 10 for Tom Burgess. Ray Yock electing to go with Burgess in the second half. And the lead has been cut to 6 for Calgary. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders in Calgary territory trying to get in scoring range again. They take the drive and throw the completion, and that's Farthing again. Well, he had the second best day of his career last week against the Stampeders. His best was last year in a game against the Toronto Argonauts when he had 7 for 128, and Farthing's been a key man in the second half.
Last week, 7 for 106. Great hands, very sure receiver. He's that possession type guy. In a down and out situation, you want to be the go-to guy. Go to Dan Farthing.
Well, this should be the final play of the third quarter, and this game very much up for grabs. Walters off the left side, down at the 34.
Number 35, Rick Walters, who carries it over the 35-yard line.
Greg Furs stopped Walters on the final play of the third quarter in a dandy defensive battle.
One moment, please.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Well, it's a game here in Calgary. Stamps up by 3 as we start the fourth quarter. Chris Dan and I talked about the shots Jeff Garcia took in the first half of this game. On one of those, in which he was really slow to get up, he severely sprained his right ankle. It's heavily taped, and he's not able, when he steps back to throw, to put any pressure whatsoever on his right ankle. The Stamps don't feel they have any other option, Chris and Dan. They think they have to play Garcia, so I guess there goes the theory that Doug Flutie could play, because if he could, he'd likely be in now.
And Sean Moore, the other quarterback, just getting familiar with the offense. But when he took that shot off the ankle, Flutie did not even budge. Well, Bobby Jurison said he was drawn. We saw this a few times last week. Let's see what the officials call.
I don't think Bobby's going to be very convincing with that argument.
He tried.
He tried adamantly to argue the fact. Let's listen to Dave Ewell.
Saskatchewan 71, 5 yards, still first down.
He's trying to point to Rocco Romano or Bob Pandelides. Right guard, right tackle. There was just a slight movement. Number 69, Bobby Pandelides, rocked back ever so slightly, but he didn't lose contact with the turf.
And the weight shifted, but it goes against Saskatchewan, and short gain off the left side. Tony Stewart and Gary Rogers there for Saskatchewan.
The Saskatchewan defense has really improved as far as in the middle. The addition of the veteran Glenn Kulka, also Lybrant Robinson in there, and Troy Alexander really getting familiar with the scheme of things in Saskatchewan and the Canadian Football League game.
So a gain of 1 for Stewart at 2nd and 4. And Garcia hands it back off to Stewart, and he won't get the first down. The Saskatchewan defense has done its job again, and Gary Rogers has had a big game. Well, this linebacking core of Rogers, Getz, Rashovich, Jurison. Jim Daly's got to be proud of the way they've played the last few weeks.
Jim Daly is just a terrific coordinator in a sense that he doesn't come in so much with the X's and O's and say, here, you have to fit my program. He takes a look at the athletes that he has, and he is so well versed in this Canadian Football League game and playing defense. He makes X's and O's to fit the best quality of the players on defense.
Aaron Ruffin from his 29. Flag came down, and Ruffin breaks another great return, but it's going to come back.
Big return for number 33, Aaron Ruffin, but we do have a flag back near the 30.
Ruffin dangerous every time he gets his hands on the ball, but that's a couple of times today. It's been all for naught.
And every one of those calls that have brought it back have been an illegal block.
Illegal block. Saskatchewan number 1, 10 yards, first down.
Dwayne Provo that time.
And the kind of things that this constitutes is you have to be disciplined.
I don't know.
I don't know about that block either. There was a ref standing just to the right of Aaron Ruffin that did not make that call at all. The call was made from the side judge that was all the way on the other side of the field. I do not think. I think that the young Provo got his head in front, made a good block.
They turned into him, but doesn't matter now. Burgess airing it out, and great coverage. Well, too good. There's another flag, so, well, things even out now as Saskatchewan gets the benefit of this pass interference call. 2.5 minutes into this fourth quarter. A 3-point game.
Little stop and go out and up. Narcisse and Jordan. Little hand battling. Jordan gave him a couple extra slaps right in the chest. Penalty was called. Al Jordan, who came to the Calgary Stampeders via the first round of the Las Vegas dispersal draft. You know, he's got to fill some pretty big shoes out there. The Calgary Stampeders lost both of their corners, Dennis Kraft and Junior Thurman. Kraft going to Indianapolis and Junior Thurman to Birmingham.
Well, Dave Ewell making the call, and
forward pass interference. Calgary 17. First down.
Well, he said 17 Coleman, but we saw it was Jordan. And Coleman's giving him an earful. Hey, wasn't me.
Wait a second.
But in any event, it's a first down, Saskatchewan. And the ball at the Riders 43. First down, the pitch to Walters, and oh boy. Rick Walters meet Marvin Pope.
It's more like son meet Big Daddy. But there were some offsides that took place at the top of the screen, and it looked like the whole Saskatchewan offense just stopped. The only guy that didn't was Walters and that guy, Big Daddy Marvin Pope.
Well, Walters stopped after he hit Pope.
Look at the feet just at the top of your screen. You can see how everybody's offside. Boyko hears a whistle. He stops. Big Daddy doesn't stop.
Well, they're calling it against Saskatchewan, and Tom Burgess is heated up. So it's first and 15.
Calgary, let's hear from you.
Back at the 38. And they've got the McMahon Stadium crowd whipped up into a frenzy, trying to make noise a factor here. Burgess, Elgar, big catch.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
One moment, please. Moment, please. One moment, please.
Right through his body, doesn't catch it in his hands. Tries to make a little bit of move and get out of the way before he makes the catch. And it's an incompletion.
2nd and 10. From the Calgary 19, 6 receivers go out. And it's incomplete. He delivered it behind Dave Sapunjas, and Garcia apparently is really being hampered by that sprained ankle. He's 2 for 8 in this second half.
Well, with the right ankle giving him the problem, that's the plant ankle, and that's where he's going to come back, plant that foot and push off for it, and it creates the velocity that the football actually travels on. If not, it changes his old throwing mechanics. Now he starts using all of his arm as opposed to some of his body to throw that. That case, it was thrown well behind the intended receiver, Dave Sapunjas.
So Martino gets set to kick to Ruffin.
Now, Ruffin's had some great returns. If Saskatchewan is able just to make their blocks and not get a penalty, should get great field position.
Ruffin from his own 53. Crosses midfield and then is drilled back. Good job downfield.
Number 33, Aaron
Greg
Ruffin
Frères was there, 4-yard return after a 38-yard punt. And Tom Burgess with great field position. Under 10 minutes to go. Saskatchewan needs a win to nail down a playoff spot. And this is as good as time as any, but Frank Spaziani and the Calgary defense trying to protect that lead. If Saskatchewan doesn't get it done today, they've got to go to BC next week and win.
Plenty of time. Now try to force it into the end zone. Nickel and diamond. Make first down.
Oh, he's going up top and had a man open. Rick Walters was there, and Burgess couldn't get him the ball.
Okay, so what do I know about it? Burgess has the receiver wide open, delivers the ball. And that's Anthony McClanahan, who comes in there with full force and puts Tom Burgess right on his back. That may be why that pass was off the mark quite a bit.
Well, Saskatchewan this year in the fourth quarter has not been that effective. It's been a great quarter for Calgary, but those stats are for the past games. Tom Burgess could change it today, but not here. Marvin Pope back at it again. 3rd sack of the day for 91. Well, Kep, they have said we have a championship defense, and you get the feeling that it's Calgary's defense that's going to be left to win this game today.
Big Daddy just comes off the corner, arm under, big, powerful rush. Tom Burgess steps up, but not before Big Daddy can get his paws on him and put him down, as you said, for the 3rd sack, his 13th of the year.
Under 9 to go as Matic fielded the low snap. Terry Vaughn is back. Ball bouncing down there, and he has it at the 8. And Rod wraps him up and throws him down. So Calgary has the lead, but they're backed up here in the fourth quarter. We're back at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. Great crowd on hand, seeing a defensive tussle between the Stampeders and the Roughriders. 15-12 Calgary. Jeff Garcia hampered by a sprained ankle, hanging in there and backed up at his own 11. First down, and he's going deep. Flag down. Tyrone Williams dropped the ball, and that's his 2nd drop in the second half. And the rookie out of the University of Western Ontario would love to have another shot at that one.
Perfectly thrown pass by Garcia. Right in stride to the long, tall, rangy receiver. And he watches it slide right through his hands.
Illegal contact on an eligible receiver. Saskatchewan 33, 10 yards, first down.
Ruffin called for illegal contact. Yeah, nothing wrong with the plant foot and the delivery of that football. 8.5 minutes to go. Garcia leading an offense that has put up 63 touchdowns this year, but none today. First down, rushes on. Over the middle, incomplete, and there's there's a flag. And Saskatchewan was bumped, and Doug Flutie was calling that one from the sidelines.
I think you're going to see Aaron Ruffin get his second in a row pass interference call.
Forward pass interference, unintentional. Saskatchewan 33, 10-yard penalty, first down.
You can see the look of dismay on Ray Yock's face.
Well, one time this year, Yock called Ruffin his MVP for his great work on specialty teams and as the nickelback. Well, John Huffnagel's team now is at least got some breathing room on offense, up at the 31 thanks to those two penalties. And now, a little short pass to Pee Wee Smith, and Glenn Kulka
Number 86, Pee Wee
brings him
Smith
down.
with the football just outside the 40-yard line.
Good hitch pattern,
Number
but just
68,
great
Glenn
pursuit by the
Kulka
big guy,
over to
Glenn
take it down.
Kulka at 265, getting down the line of scrimmage,
Gain of
being able to
7,
stop
second
that
down
for
3.
about 7 yards. Pee-wee, such a dangerous threat. Anytime that he catches a pass like that, he just needs a little bit of a seam, and he can make big things happen.
Well, 68's been busy today. At the heart of this defensive effort, Tony Stewart on 2nd and 3 will have the first down. Troy Alexander, the kid out of Edmonton, with the tackle. And the clock running here with 7:05 to go. And now it stops as Kulka's put a knee down.
Number 68, Glenn Kulka, the injured
And they'll
Roughrider.
check his right knee.
Chris, there was a time, I think about 1979, 1980, Glenn Kulka was playing junior football in the Edmonton Eskimos. He came out for the Edmonton Eskimos as a linebacker, an outside linebacker, and he came to our camp a couple of years. And I think the young boy has grown up.
Well, he gets attention, and this is a critical drive in the football game. The 3-point lead for the Stampeders has been holding up, but you wonder for how long. And an onus for Garcia and this offense to get the ball moving.
Today's cup sponsor is
Canadian Tire has guaranteed low prices every day on MotoMaster batteries, so you can get one whenever you need one, and you won't get left out in the cold.
Vision, the big name in home electronics.
Well, the Saskatchewan fans, they're getting anxious now. They're ready to strap on their helmets for the last 7 minutes. Jurison conferring with Jim Daly at the sidelines. What a great game plan they've had again today against the high-powered Calgary offense.
The defense has really been out there quite a bit through the course of this game. Offense kind of took over a bit in the third quarter and give them a break and spell. Let them catch their wind a bit. 2 big penalties have aided the possession drive so far in these last 2 series of the Calgary Stampeders.
First and 10, Calgary.
So first down for the Stampeders at their 42-yard line. And Garcia over the middle, incomplete. And that was Danielson, the intended receiver.
Pass intended for number 88, Vince Danielson, goes incomplete. On the coverage.
As Jeff Garcia stands in a lot of times, Saskatchewan wants to come with a little bit of heat, takes the safety out of the middle. The receivers of the Stampeders' key is read that, fill in up over the middle. Garcia just was unable to get the ball into Danielson's hands.
Bobby Jurison moves up onto the line with the absence of Kulka. 2nd and 10, and Garcia floats one. Incomplete. That was intended for Sapunjas, but missed the intended target by about 5 yards. So it's third down. Calgary will have to kick it away with 6:31 left. I'll tell you what, if Saskatchewan does make the playoffs, I think they served notice in the last few weeks that Baltimore will have its hands full. Baltimore found out firsthand in those back-to-back games. They squeaked by both times, but they had their hands full.
That first game at home, Saskatchewan lost 28-24, and away in Baltimore at Memorial Stadium, they lost 29-27.
Here's Ulmer, and a flag down for no yards. Kemp, as I say that, I can hear Cal Murphy screaming in my ear that Saskatchewan's not going anywhere yet.
Well, I can guarantee you, it's better your ear than my ear, so I would much rather have it like that.
Just a 31-yard punt by Martino that time, and a no yards call going to be tacked on against Calgary.
No yards. Calgary number 8, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, once again, we want to look ahead to next weekend. Coming up on Saturday, the Breeders' Cup, a great day of horse racing from Belmont Park in New York. Brian Williams and Jim Banham will be there to cover it for CBC Sports. It all starts at 11 Eastern. Chris?
Thank you, Scott. Down to the stretch run here. Tom Burgess and the Roughriders, first down at their own 53. And over the middle, Albert Turner with the catch. At the 45, nailed by Alondra Johnson, and Tom Burgess has finally gone into the Dan Kepley playbook.
Well, this is where Tom Burgess, I think, really does shine. He's a smart quarterback, reads defenses extremely well. Now he has some receivers that can go down there, like Turner, like Elgard and Narcisse, find the open spot, work in behind the linebackers, and if Burgess has time, you get that kind of results.
Clock running with 5:15 to go. First down, Saskatchewan. And Burgess going up top and almost picked off. Marvin Coleman, the closest man to the ball. And no offense to Burgess, but I like your play selection better.
Well, no offense to him either, because I've never, as a middle linebacker, you don't have any idea what it feels like to be a quarterback and be under that kind of pressure. But I think right now, going back, let's do what has been successful and try to make those first downs, get ourselves in a position, not create second and long, because second and long, Calgary's going to come after us and put some heat on us. Make the first down now is the crucial thing.
Second and 10, and Burgess over the middle, and that was almost picked by Alondra Johnson as they went back to Albert Turner. Third down, and Ray Yock has a decision. He's going to send out McCallum, and what a spot for Paul McCallum. Ray Yock made that controversial decision to replace Dave Ridgway, and now he's sending on the new place kicker to attempt a 52-yard field goal to tie the game.
Setting up from 51 yards out.
He said he was tired of waiting for Louis Bisaglia to retire in BC. McCallum with lots of leg. He's done it again. And we are tied with 4:32 to go.
There is a lot of pressure out there on that young man's shoulders. I mean, and a lot of it has nothing to do with the football game that's taking place.
Absolutely. I mean, whether you're a Dave Ridgway fan or a Paul McCallum fan, that's a pretty gutsy kick.
Yeah. And today, you can't help but be a football fan when you watch this kind of game.
Absolutely. Garcia now throwing Terry Vaughn open, and he didn't have control. Tried to keep those feet in play and couldn't squeeze the football.
Number 2, Terry Vaughn, is incomplete.
Miscue in the secondary of Saskatchewan leaves Terry Vaughn wide open on the sideline. Good look at John Huffnagel sending in the signals, and this really does take a lot of pressure off the young quarterback. All he has to do now, go out there, execute the play that's been called for him.
Second and 10. Garcia just got it away and has a completion. Vince Danielson with the catch at the 44. They're short of the first down, though.
Chris looks to be about 2 yards short from the mark.
And Wally Bono has to send on the punting unit. Remember, they were stopped last week on third and about a foot. And they cannot afford to take a chance here. as Garcia continues to show the discomfort of the sprained ankle. Well, Tony Martino started off booming the football, but his last kick just 31 yards.
Well, John Hufnagel and also Wally Bono both reiterated the fact that Saskatchewan does a lot of things differently with their nickel and their dime back. They give you different alignments, and they make you think a lot. The more you make someone think, the better your chances are of someone making a mistake, and that's what they've done today.
Aaron Ruffin up to the 29. Greg Furs again. He's done a nice job at specialty teams today. Well, let's set it up for you. 15-15, 3:17 to go. Should this game finish in a tie, Saskatchewan would not nail down the final playoff spot. They would just move 1 point ahead of Winnipeg, who finishes next week against Ottawa. Saskatchewan with their final game at BC Place Stadium. And the Roughriders showed yesterday that Winnipeg doesn't have a sure touch next week in the final game there.
Those are pretty tough conditions to play a football game, and Ottawa did come out on the best of that day.
First down for Burgess. On a roll, throwing a completion, but just a short game to Narcisse.
That's better than the play that they originally had called. Was a sense that they wanted to play the screen. It was covered well by Streko Zizakovic. Forced Burgess to have to get outside, and he at least made something of nothing with the completion to Narcisse.
Field goals for Paul McCallum, 5 field goals for Mark McLaughlin, and 33,000 plus at McMahon Stadium have seen a hard-fought defensive battle. Jeff Garcia's got all the way for Calgary. Tom Burgess in relief of Warren Jones for Saskatchewan, 2nd and 5. And Saskatchewan with the completion, but they don't get the first down.
They'll be about 2 yards short, it looks, Chris.
Carroll's on 38. Al Jordan 27 on the tackle.
Ray Yock getting a close-up look.
Well, they got a little better spot. It doesn't look that far from here. It would be over a yard at least, though.
And with 2:38 to go, Ray Yock apparently not in the gambling mood yet. Or is this the time where you might see out of punt formation a short snap?
I don't think so. I think this is the kind of play that either you're going to line it up and try to run your best play to pick up a first down. If not, then you're just going to punt it away and try to back Calgary up as far as you can. And hopefully this defense of Saskatchewan, from Ray Yock's point of view, can continue to perform the way that they have in the fourth quarter. Or actually the way they have played all game long. You talked about Wally, and he mentioned about playing with pressure. He says, you know, pressure is when you have to go out there every game and every week and play with people and guys that you know aren't good enough to win, but still you need to win. He says, fortunately, we're not in that situation.
I think Wally Bono likes a game like this because this is as close to a playoff atmosphere as you can create.
Well, he said there's 3 things that you have to play on my team. You got to be tough, you have to be aggressive, and you have to be competitive. And this,
it's a heck of a competition. Here's Coleman with a chance for a big return, and it's going to come back. All out of Kellyup. Marvin Coleman sprung one, but it looked like Gary Rogers was blocked from behind. And Will Johnson may be the culprit, and Wally Bono is going to come out onto the field to argue it.
I think you may have half of it right there, old masterful play-by-play guy. But I think they're going to call A.J. Alondro.
Well, either way, Wally Bono doesn't agree with it.
Illegal block. Calgary 81, 10 yards, first down.
You see that? That's that spotter guy on the other side, Daryl Moore. You know, he's a safety, and he's always right. Why would I argue with him?
I got a Stampeder on my left and an Eskimo on my right. Who am I going to trust here at McMahon Stadium?
You know something? That's those Calgary black jerseys down there. You can't read the numbers.
No, it's tough.
Daryl does a great job for us.
There's a completion out to Sapunjas and a first down. Dave Sapunjas will move the sticks.
Taken down by number 47, Ron Getz of the Riders.
Mark McLaughlin's longest field goal for the 95 season has been 52 yards.
Dave Sapunjas with 108 catches on the year now. And the 46, first down Calgary. That's the Stampeder 46. Garcia under the gun, over the middle. No catch. Danielson thought he had it. The pass delivered behind the intended receiver.
And that may be the difference in the pass when we talked about the right foot in the plant, trying to get some velocity on the ball. When he can air it out and hang it up and put some air underneath the ball, it doesn't affect him. But this one, he's got to throw on a frozen rope out there. Danielson is wide open over the middle, in between two Saskatchewan defenders, and the ball's slightly thrown behind him.
So 2nd and 10, a big play here. And he delivers to Tyrone Williams, who makes the catch this time and steps out of bounds with a first down. 1:38 to go. And Garcia stringing a couple of first down completions together. He's 5 for 16 in this second half.
Gutsy call to go to the youngster. As far as the youngster on the Calgary Stampeders, after you've seen him drop 2 of the last passes thrown to him in a crucial situation, he goes to Ty Williams and now comes up with a big catch and keeps the drive alive.
At the Saskatchewan 52. 4 receivers right side, 2 to the left. He'll throw to the weak side. Incomplete. Looking for Pee Wee Smith.
Let's go, dude, get that man. Garcia's pass.
Well, this is the 50th anniversary of the Calgary Stampeders Football Club. And we've had kind of a throwback game today. Hard-hitting defensive battle. Well, wins for the visitors don't come frequently here. Saskatchewan with the chance today, but they've got to hold on defense now. 2nd and 10. Garcia looking deep. Tyrone Williams brings it down. Not discouraged by 2 drops early. Garcia goes back to Williams, and it's a 32-yard pickup.
He has this ball out underneath it, and then it becomes a jump ball right at the last minute. You don't see this, but Williams just gives ever so slightly a shove to number 2, Terrell Ulmer, creates a little separation, then goes up high, makes the catch.
Garcia gets a chance to confer at the sidelines with John Hufnagel. Ron Getz, Saskatchewan's outstanding leader on defense, is shaken up. He's had a chronic knee problem and is in difficulty again. He is the key guy in Jim Daly's defense, and they don't want to lose him now. Minute 27 to go. 32-yard gain for Ty Williams, who came into this one with 3 catches and 26 yards on the season. So it's been a big day for Williams despite the drops.
And this Calgary offense has come into this game just being a machine of offense. Of the 16 games, 11 of them had been over 400 yards in total offense. 5 of those 11 games were over 500, and one of those 5 games was 633 yards versus the Edmonton Eskimos on Labor Day. They have just slightly over 300 yards in total offense so far today.
First down at the Saskatchewan 20. Calgary looking for the first touchdown of the day. Garcia on a roll, and he's down at the 19. Aaron Ruffin moved up. LeBryant Robinson was in pursuit. And is Garcia going to get up?
He's very slow and hobbling, but that's the way he's looked almost since the first quarter of this game.
You know, Kev, he showed us against Edmonton on Labor Day in his second start, that he was a competitive guy, and he's underscored that again this afternoon.
Incredible numbers on Labor Day. 33 for 45, 546 yards passing, 6 touchdowns.
2nd and 9. a bit. And now the Riders will call timeout with 43 seconds to go. Garcia got the job done. Gets them in field goal range for Mark McLaughlin. And then Tom Burgess and the Roughriders will have somewhere in the neighborhood of 35 seconds to come back and get back on even terms. Unless Saskatchewan can block the McLaughlin attempt.
Great effort on Jeff Garcia picking the receiver that was most likely not to be thought of as a possession receiver in Ty Williams that came up with 2 great catches during the course of this long drive to put Mark McLaughlin in this field goal attempt.
And from 25 yards out, McLaughlin is good. Field goal number 6 on the day makes it 18-15.
Stampeders 18, the Saskatchewan Roughriders 15. That's number 6 today for McLaughlin. Another football for the Stadium School section, sponsored by Xerox, the Royal Bank.
Ray Young is elected not to accept a kickoff here. He'll go right to work from the 35. 39 seconds on the clock. That's a lot of time.
Riders scrimmage at their own 35, first and 10.
They've got to go about 35 yards to get in McCallum range. Burgess to Elgard. First down, right at the 49. Elgard moves the sticks. Saskatchewan has used its last timeout. That took 6 seconds. They've still got 16 yards to go, at least to get in McCallum range. Here's a pass for Riders, picked off. Matt Finley has the interception. He snuck down a Winnipeg late drive with an interception. And Finley has his 4th pick of the year.
Findog with his 4th interception of this year, career high. Possibly that Tom Burgess had the matchup that he wanted to go to. Walters against the middle linebacker, threw the ball behind it. Matt Finley did an excellent job.
There is a marker on the field, Captain.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Calgary 84 after the play, 15 yards, first down.
Well, Dwayne Patterson, but that really won't be a factor now. Matt Finley has decided to check that Gonzalo Floyd, the roughing penalty. 23 seconds left. And the Calgary Stampeders will go to 15-2. The vastly improved Saskatchewan Roughriders will slip to 6-11 and will have to win next week in BC.
After that game the other night in Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, BC gave Baltimore everything they could handle, forced them to have to kick a field goal, a few seconds to go in the game to win.
Now Jeff Garcia has had more enjoyable days at the office. But this one, even without a touchdown, will be a rewarding one. And on the 50th anniversary, Wally Bono and the Stampeders celebrate a hard-fought victory.
But it's one of those kind of things when your defense is playing extremely well, your offense is sputtering slightly, it's a team effort. It's not a pretty victory, but at the bottom line, it is a win.
Kind of a linebacker victory.
Oh, it's a great defensive game if you like that. There's a lot of hitting, a lot of physical aggressiveness taking place on the field. It's great to watch.
Well, there's no question the Calgary Stampeders, a class team at 15-2. I'd say the Saskatchewan Roughriders are as good a 6-11 team as you're going to see.
Absolutely, and they could have very easily given or take probably in the last 4 games a total of 10 points or more. They could be anywhere between 10-5, 10-6.
Well, let's go down to the field and join Scott.
All right, Chris, Jeff Garcia hobbled through this one, but did what he had to assemble the drive that got Mark McLaughlin in winning field goal range. How's the ankle?
It's very sore. It's hard to do anything. I'm going to take care of it this week, but it definitely hobbled me throughout the 3/4 of the game.
Looked like you had trouble getting the ball to anybody.
Yeah, I did. I couldn't push off real well, delivering the ball, and things were behind players. It was just a frustrating afternoon once the injury hit.
Jeff, in light of the prospect that you were faced with, losing 2 in a row, assess the importance of this game, this win.
Well, it's important for us to get back on our feet. Offensively, we really haven't played that well the last 2 weeks, and I think part of that is me to blame today. I mean, it was just difficult to get the ball off and put it where I wanted it to, but we got the win, and it's important that we get back on the right foot.
Well, they all count as wins, even if it's only by 3. Thanks, Jeff, for your time. So recovery by the Stampeders today, beaten at Taylor Field last week. They get the return match. It's a tall order to beat the Stamps 2 weeks running. They weren't about to have it happen 2 weeks before the playoffs, 18-15 the final. Next Saturday, the Breeders' Cup from Belmont beginning at 11 Eastern. Later that night, our Molson Hockey Night in Canada doubleheader starts with the Kings at Toronto and Chicago at Montreal. Winnipeg at Vancouver is the second half. A week today, it's our final CFL regular season telecast, and our plans right now call for us to be in Winnipeg, where the Bombers host Ottawa Riders, be trying to finish on a 2-game win streak. In Calgary this afternoon, the Stamps hold on to win and leave the Riders hanging. They have 1 more week to make the playoffs. Riders will have to beat the BC Lions next Saturday night and hope the Bombers lose. Thanks for watching, and so long from Calgary.